All right. Hello and welcome to the Football is King podcast. Unless we come up with a better name, but this is episode 1. Here we have 4 stooges who have never played anything higher than middle school football who think that they know better than NFL coaches. I will be your host, Austin Williamson. Cast, introduce yourself. Shane, how are we doing today?
Oh, great. Just living the dream.
All right. And we have Jonathan in the corner as well.
What up, y'all? I think I have COVID, so we'll see.
Here we go. Week 1, we got the Rona going on as well. And then all the way out in Atlanta, Georgia, we have Blake. How are we today, sir?
Good. I just got triple vax, so I don't have the COVID.
All right.
Be safe, get vaxxed.
I'm safe.
That way we don't get a misinformation label. Yes, we appreciate it. Vaccines are good. COVID is bad.
Don't get HIV.
Yeah. All right. It is August 30th. We are 9 days away from NFL football starting, few days away from college football really kicking off. We had a week 1 last weekend, and today we are going to
week 0.
Week 0.
I apologize. We are going
the best
to
game was
preview.
Nebraska, and they sucked. So
that is true. We're going to preview the season up ahead. We're going to start off in the best league, the NFL, in the NFC East. So we're going to kind of go through each team, talk about their over-unders, and what the off-season and the season looks like for them. So we're going to start off with none other than America's team, the Dallas Cowboys, who last season led the league in penalties and then drafted with their first-round pick the player who led college football in penalties. The loss of Tyron Smith / Amari Cooper and Michael Gallup being out for a while looks kind of over like a little daunting task. Gentlemen, what do we think? What are we expecting from the Cowboys this season, especially early on in the season?
the same thing we see every year. Oh, an overrated team that has a fan base that is delusional. That's what we'll see.
All right. I looked up their schedule earlier today as well. So Tyron Smith is out until, I think Ian Rappaport said, till at least December. So they got
I got rap sheet.
Our guys got kind of a tough run in also. They play in their first 6 games. 4 of their 6 opponents made the playoffs last year. So we're looking at a pretty tough. I mean, I think a couple.
Yeah, they have a brutal opening here. They have the Giants week 3, and that's the Commanders week 4.
I didn't pay
the
for
rest
anything.
Of it looks pretty brutal.
They do. Okay, well, they do have 2. They've got 2 what I would call cupcake games in there. But I mean, they got to open up. I know Tom Brady has missed 11 days. I'm sure we'll talk about that later when we get to the Bucs. But I mean, he missed 11 straight days there. But they got to open up with the Bucs at home. I think also in there they play the Eagles, which we'll talk about them in a second. But the Eagles look freaking dang good in my opinion. Their offseason was incredible. But I mean, they also get the Bengals in the first 6 weeks, Super Bowl from last year. They get the Rams. They're playing both teams in the Super Bowl in their first 6 games.
4 weeks, 6 games.
And they're going to be missing their, best offensive lineman. I think last season they really struggled when Smith was out and they had to rearrange their offensive line. And I also put in here, Jerry Jones has committed and said that Ezekiel Elliott is going to run for at least 85 yards a game this season. Do we think this is possible?
No. What did he run for last year? Maybe. I mean, he probably averaged about 2 yards a carry.
I don't have it in front of me, but I think he had 4 or 5 games where he even broke 100 yards. The guy's not good. He's just he dropped in all fantasy rankings. Tony Pollard's the best damn running back in Dallas, and he's not gonna get the ball like that. He's going to
He
catch
did
more
actually
passes
average.
and run
He
more.
averaged 4.2 yards a carry last year.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be a little situation.
Are these live stats, Blake?
Yeah, these are live stats right here.
I will say, if this
Blake
says
stats.
anything about Zeke, which I only play fantasy because my father-in-law league needed one more person, so I play with him. But get drafted until I think the 6th round, because why are you going to draft Zeke? I mean, he's either going to be hurt, he's going to be out with strippers, or he's not going to play, or he's going to, I mean, he'll play, but not play. So, I mean, there's no use. This is terrible.
Also, Tony Pollard's a better running back. He'll be out for a little bit, I think, but he's a better running back.
He may
not get as many carries, but they'll definitely split.
I really
Do you think
the
Zeke is
Cowboys-
the
Go ahead, Shane.
go, Austin? Well, do you think Zeke is the poster boy for I got paid and I don't care? I mean, because that's really how it feels. I mean, I get paid.
I don't know that he ever cared.
The word around Dallas when you like meet people that know him is he's like one of the laziest fucking athletes you'll ever meet. Like,
Well, don't listen to homeless people.
no, I listen to people that know him on a personal level as athletes, and they have spoken about how he is not very committed to the athletic side of things. He's very God gifted. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
I'll take Shane's and I'll run with it a little bit. I think Zeke is the poster boy of why you do not pay a running back.
Yeah.
No,
I think
you
that there
never
are
pay
plenty of teams. Now, if you've got a running back that transcends the game, aka Derrick Henry, like right now, like yeah, give Derrick Henry his money, but like you do not cripple your team with the guarantees like Zeke has had, because you can go get somebody in the draft that can do maybe not to the exact same level, but maybe instead of getting 4.2 yards a carry, they get 3.9. And like, is that really that big of a difference? I don't know.
And you can get him in the 4th, 5th round. You can
But
get him
for
late.
very low draft capital.
I mean, the offensive line in Dallas has been what has made all these running backs. They've had 3 running backs in a row that led the league at some point in their career in rushing yards. And then when they leave Dallas, because there's no offensive line where they go, they don't become anything. I think one of them is actually coaching at Oklahoma. So,
yeah,
his career ended very quickly after Dallas let him go. So
I am interested to see the Cowboys defense, though. Micah Parsons is a beast. People say what you want about Trayvon Diggs, but he will get the ball for you.
Yep.
No.
Defense is a serious.
You can say what you want about Trayvon Diggs, but he's going to intercept the ball. He's going to get beat deep.
No, my hot take for the year: Diggs only gets 4 picks this year.
4.
I love
Diggs
what
4 picks tops.
I love what Darius Butler says about him. And Darius Butler. Once again, I don't know him. I don't know enough about pro football, being a player. But when a dude of his brain says, "Look, you live with it," I'm like, I trust it, because the dude is going to get his.
He's only been playing corner for like what, 3 years?
Yeah, 3 or 4 years.
Nick Saban recruited him as a wide receiver.
I think he's going to really struggle, especially early on this season with the receivers that he's going to be covering in those first few weeks. I mean, he's going to probably take Mike Evans week 1. He's got Chase. He's got Chase week 2. He's got, he's got McLaurin week 4. I mean, McLaurin's not
McLaurin's
a bad wide receiver, but I mean, they don't have
McLaurin's a
beast.
I can't believe he went back to Washington.
Cup week 5. I mean, he's going to be put out there pretty quick, whether or not he's got it this year or not. And I think also teams are going to be studying film on him for sure when they play the boys this year on when are the times that he bites and how can we make routes look like it.
But the Cowboys can solve that problem too.
Hopefully he's been in the film room studying his own film this year.
He's only been playing for 3 years. I would say he probably has been.
But I will say, Micah Parsons, if that dude is a baller, he is ready to go.
Parsons is a beast.
Their D line looks great. Their linebacking core not the best. But their secondary should hold up as long as Diggs isn't getting burnt every other play. So, all right. We'll go around the horn here real quick.
What do you think Dak does this year?
Oh, I mean, he's gonna.
I'm not
put
a
up
Dak
17
lover myself.
He's gonna put up 17,000 yards. It's just gonna all be in garbage time when they're down 20 points. So I mean,
That's-
good for
I
him.
think he's gonna
Is-
have
is-
to. I think he's gonna
is it
be
gonna be the
running
same old-
around a lot because he has no Smith to block right there. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. This is all before the first kickoff's even taken place. So we'll see how much we are right. We'll look back on this at the end of the year and see how great we are. All right, we're gonna go around the horn real quick. We've talked enough about the boys. 10.5 is currently the over/under on their wins for the season. Reminder: we are in a 17 game season now, so that
Take
has
the
thrown
under.
the over/unders off a little bit. 10.5. This is via FanDuel Sportsbook. Please sponsor us and give us money, FanDuel. Thank you.
Yeah,
All right.
that'd be fantastic.
Start
To the
with
tune
you,
of
Shane.
300 mil.
Yeah,
Start with you, Shane. 10.5. Over or under for the boys?
Take the under every time.
All right. We
Take
got
it.
one for the under. Jonathan,
I
what
can
about you
find
for the
8
under?
guaranteed wins. I'm taking the under.
under.
That's it. All right. We got 3 unders. And I'm
10
gonna
and
make
a
that
half is a
4.
lot. 10 and a
I'm
half,
making
10 and a
that
half
4
is high.
unders. I think
Dude,
I
they're
have
just
them at
not
10
gonna
and
be that
7.
good this year.
All right. Here we go.
They have a pretty tough schedule. They have a pretty tough schedule too. Not gonna lie.
All right.
I
Let's
do
move
catch
on.
the Lions and Bears, but
Too many missing pieces. If Gallup was like ready to go September 11th, I would be all about like him getting a lot of receptions. But
I think he's projected to come back week 3.
yeah, I
He's
like
not-
him a lot. I wish he didn't play for the Cowboys because
Yeah, he's not on the pup list, so he should be back before week 4 for sure, or they would put
Yeah.
him on there. So, all right, here we go. Moving on to the Philadelphia Eagles. In my opinion, the Eagles had one of the best drafts / off seasons with the acquisition of AJ Brown to be with Devontae Smith. Do we think that the Philadelphia Eagles defense, though, can compete with those two? I mean, the NFC is not the most stacked this year, but to compete like with Dallas, that'll be a high scoring game possibly. Do we think that they can compete with Dallas / are they going to commit to running the football? Because last year at the beginning of the year, they struggled with running the ball, but once they started to, what a surprise. Jalen Hurts with a running offense was successful. What are our thoughts, gentlemen?
Defense ain't gonna be great.
their passing game should be fantastic. I don't really care for all their running backs, but Jalen Hurts takes a big step this year probably with AJ. I mean, the dude's an animal.
Jalen Hurts makes me nervous throwing the ball. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, he does. Me too.
If Lamar Jackson can be great, Jalen Hurts can find a way to be great too.
Lamar
They're
Jackson's
two
got a
totally
little
different people.
different
I don't
skill
know.
set. I feel
I
like.
think Jonathan's actually, this is a very rare moment, people listening to this podcast. And I'm going to agree with Jonathan here. I think that if they actually look at the Ravens offense and take a little bit from it, not a ton, because Hurts is not as an electric as a runner as Lamar is. There's very few.
Yeah.
But
Lamar's a running back that throws the ball a few times a game. That's all he is.
if we look at the last half of the Philadelphia season last year, if they have a decently successful run game, Hurts is very effective on those boot read option kind of throws. Or he can tuck it, and I mean, he's not unathletic. I mean, he can run very well. And he's
Not
smart
afraid
enough
to run.
He's smart enough to get down to and get out of bounds and all of those things. I think that they were progressing very well at the end of last season. It's all about now that they have a new toy and the fact that AJ Brown, can they commit to the run game, or are they going to try to be? If they're going to try to be a West Coast offense and just Hurts is going to sit in the pocket and try to throw, they're going to fail, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's a
But
terrible idea.
if they can run it, I don't know, decently successfully, I think that they should
Was
have a
Hurts
chance.
playing in the game last year against Washington when they were trying to get to the playoffs?
Was that the week 7 or week 18 game?
Yeah, the week 17.
No, they benched their entire team.
I
Philadelphia.
thought Hurts played like 3 quarters or something like that.
Oh, it's possible. That was a long time ago. I don't remember everything.
I know it was. I can't remember either, but I just reminded of that game, and I'm like, that was the ugliest game of football I've ever watched in my life.
I mean,
The Raiders.
da-da-da-da-da.
What was that game? The Raiders and the.
oh Jesus, okay, freaking! You could send it.
Oh, the Raiders
both
and
into
Chargers
the-
game? That was
They
glorious.
the knee and you send both in the playoffs. It's like, don't do that. Don't be that.
I actually wish they would have
Don't
been
be
that guy.
All right, hey, hold on.
I
hold
know.
on.
I think you and I were watching that game or talking about that game at some point.
All right, the Eagles and Commanders. It was Jalen Hurts. That was the ugliest game of football I've ever watched in my life, and Jalen Hurts was starting quarterback. And then the Commanders were playing Taylor Heineke. That was a terrible game of football.
Heineke.
Last year they were not.
That's not the same
Jalen
team.
Hurts scares
That's
me.
not
He
the
cannot.
same
He
team,
can't. Oh man, he's pretty bad throwing the ball.
Although I'm doing a quick. I did a quick look. They had a top 10 defense last year, so I mean that's not terrible. If they can keep that going.
They also
think
did
Eagles
pretty
did?
good.
The Eagles have a top. I mean they got Fletcher Cox. They got Jordan
No,
Davis in the
they got
draft
good
this year,
pieces.
or who else they got?
They got N'Kobe
Who else they got?
Dean.
Yeah,
They
Wait,
get
did
N'Kobe
they
Dean.
draft Davis this year?
no, sorry, I
Yeah.
don't know. They got some talent coming this
Yeah, the
way.
Eagles
I
got
think-
Davis, and I don't know how he didn't go number one overall. If I'm a GM, I'm taking him number one overall. I don't care if freaking Tom Brady's sitting
He
in the
can't
draft because
play-
you don't
he
know who
can't play-
Tom Brady is. I'm
He
taking
can't
him.
play 3 downs. He can't play 3 downs.
That's fine.
I'm
You don't
taking.
have to play all 3 downs. All right,
He
here
can't
we
play 3
go.
downs.
Real quick, we gotta move this up. We gotta move this long. We got 32 teams to talk about. 9.5 is their current over under. Go around the horn, Shane. Are we going over or under on the Eagles this year?
I'm stuck on the I'm gonna go with the under. The NFC East is gonna suck again all around.
I mean, someone's got to win some games in the NFC East, Shane. They can't all have 4 wins. All right,
They're gonna
Jonathan.
it's gonna be an 8-win team wins the division.
All right. Jonathan, what we got with the Eagles
I'll
this year?
I'll take the over. I'll take the over. I think Jalen Hurts steps up this year and actually looks semi-decent, and he's playing in my opinion, the weakest division, so it's not a big deal.
Yeah. All right.
Give
Blake, what we
me the under. The winner of the NFC East will be 9-8.
got? 9 and 8. I have the over, and I have the Eagles winning the NFC East this season.
I have the Eagles winning the NFC East, but I'm gonna take the under.
I have the Eagles with 11 wins and the Cowboys with 10. So that's my prediction for the year. Yeah. I think the Eagles take a big jump. I think also it helps that the Commanders and the Giants are garbage. And that brings us to our first garbage
Commanders.
team. They're the Commanders, which
I like the
If-
first point on here. Terrible name.
they have the worst name. They have the worst name in
Worst
football.
name in football. Worst uniforms in football. They look like they're trying to be
Redskins,
like, I don't know what they're trying to be. Terrible uniforms, terrible name, terrible quarterback. I mean, they're just all bad.
I'm
All right,
starting.
we'll go.
Is
Terrible
Taylor Heineke
owner.
still on- Is Taylor Heineke still on the roster?
Has some upsides.
Their
Yeah,
owner's
they-
on a boat in the middle of the ocean to
Their
evade the
defense is-
government. I mean, come on.
Their defense is injured to all good. Like, get out. Like, they're gonna be terrible at the beginning of the year. Like, they don't have Chase
It'd
Young.
be awful.
They're gonna be awful. So here we go. I don't really care about the football for the Commanders because they're gonna suck. So I have a couple questions. Number one, who has a worse name, the Washington Commanders or the Cleveland Guardians?
Guardians.
Both?
Guardians.
Nah,
By
they're both
far.
terrible. They're both
I
They're
think the
bad.
terrible.
I'm
They're
gonna
both
agree with
bad.
Johnny. The Guardians.
The Guardians is a tough
I-
name, though.
Dude, I forget that the Guardians are a team. I turn on baseball and I'm like, who the fuck is that?
The Guardians
And
is a
then I
tough name.
realized, oh, that's right. We got scared about some mascot and we changed the name. So
All right.
go there,
Second
Johnny.
question I had, non-football related, is what effect are all the lawsuits going to have on the Commanders this year? Are we going to finally get a new owner in Washington? Are we going to?
Well, if I was
shut the team
guessing,
down?
their arena or their stadium will probably have a leak somewhere. There's going to be some season ticket holders that catch a
Be
little
covered in
poop
some
water
sewage.
on them. There's probably going to be a stadium malfunction where a player gets injured.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts was nearly the recipient of that last year, and their owner all the while is going to be on a yacht in the middle of the Pacific,
Hiding.
or is he in the Atlantic? I don't know. He's somewhere in the middle of the ocean.
he's still on a
Wow.
yacht and I'm sitting at home in Van Alstyne, Texas. So
That's true.
he's winning.
Well, you-
in my
Who I would say
opinion.
who's winning here?
Hey, you have
Who's winning
COVID.
here?
You have COVID, so you can't leave home.
Hey,
So that's fine.
Austin, you
Once get
you can
rid of
answer
COVID,
this.
you'll be on the yacht.
H-
Yeah, go
How
ahead, Shane.
much more is even though they're overpaying for Carson Wentz, by week 6, Heineke's still on the roster, right?
I mean, Carson Wentz
You got to put
hasn't. No. It's not even gonna be that. Carson Wentz has a trouble staying healthy. Like
Oh yeah,
he struggles, and we're gonna get.
You just pull it Andrew Luck. You just call it quits early. Just
We're
be
gonna get
done.
to the
dude.
Colts.
Football's over.
Eventually.
But
It's gonna get. We're gonna talk about our boy Sam Ellinger and the Colts because my hot take is Sam Ellinger is gonna start an NFL football game. But that's a little tease for the future. I did have another big question. Will Carson Wentz have a worse play than he did against Tennessee last year, where he just threw the ball straight up in the air in his own end zone?
No.
I don't know. He's got a worse offensive line. So, I mean, Carson Wentz is going to
actually like Wentz with a bad offensive line. Let him run around a little bit.
All right, we'll see. I think
Let him run around.
Micah Parsons will break the single season sack record.
that
Just playing Commanders twice. I think that's how that's going to work out. So. All right. FanDuel showing the Commanders a lot of love. Their over-under is 8.5 games. Shane, are we taking the over or the under there?
take the under.
Yeah,
I'm on the under.
Give me 6. That's under.
Blake's on the under. Jonathan, what about you?
under.
I'm on the under. I'm on the under as well, mainly because their defense is going to be injured for the beginning of the season, and everyone talks about how great their defense is. And last year they had bottom half defense. They gave up 359 yards a game. So I mean, that's not a recipe for success.
They may end up being. They may compete for the worst team in the NFL. So.
I was going to say
I don't agree with that. But
I don't agree with that, but
6 games.
they're gonna get to 6, which is not gonna.
I think Carson is good enough to win you about 6.
I don't think Carson finishes the season. I think Heineke comes in, and I think week 6 Heineke comes in, or after their bye.
Heineke's not coming in unless Carson's injured.
He ain't getting off. He ain't getting off the Heineke train. He wants it.
I will say, I love Taylor Heineke playing football. It is
Heineke is exciting to watch, but they're paying Carson Wentz a lot of money to play football. Unless he's injured, he's not coming out of the game.
He is one of the people. You know, he should not be there, but he's there. So we like him.
All right, here we go. The New York Football Giants. I would say
how much is cute? Terrible.
They also, like the Eagles, had a very decent draft.
I kind of like them.
No.
I kind of
Daniel Jones.
It's not good for this year. I think that they are not. I mean, they're going to be terrible this year. Still,
they're going to be awful.
But they played it smart, and they are building for the future. And eventually, they will have to draft their quarterback because Daniel Jones.
It's terrible.
Bud. You're not the answer. But
quite literally, if you leave him an open lane, if you give him an open run to the end zone, he will trip. That's a fact.
Give him a break.
No.
And how many times have you been running free like that? One time.
Last year was fantastic.
I think they're going to be very big in the QB lotto for next year because I think coming out of college, we got some decent looking quarterbacks that are excited, or people are excited for them. Unlike this year in the draft, where it was not great.
Can you get
last year? Some lovely statistics about our New York Football Giants. They were 31st in offense last year,
and I don't see that getting better.
And they had a bottom half defense, which is not a good recipe for success. But can Saquon stay healthy? That's question number 1.
If he stays healthy, I don't mind New York.
I mean, but is Saquon becoming the new McCaffrey? That's 2 years in a row with just season-ending injuries.
But also, the fear with the Giants is always going to be you don't have to worry about Daniel Jones at all. He's not going to beat you. You can just tee up on Saquon all day.
Yeah, you can just stack up on the line. But
I mean, make Daniel Jones beat you. He cannot beat you. He will.
Their offensive line is supposed to be better this year.
That's fine, but if you put 8 in the box on 1st and 2nd down every time, you're gonna make Daniel Jones throw it on third and long. I mean, you have no chance.
Look, he just has to make some passes. Just has to throw the ball.
He can't.
We'll see. I think that they actually will finish above the Commanders in their division this year.
I think
agree.
they'll be lucky to win 5 games.
100.
Nah.
Hey, they might win 5 games. They still might.
I
beat the
like Carson
Commanders.
Wentz. I like Carson Wentz more than that.
My other
Thank
big
you.
question is,
Do you want to
we
let these
have
dogs in or no?
our guy Brian Daboll, new head coach of the New York Football Giants. Can he make the transition
Boo. Nope.
to head coach?
Wrong.
Man.
I think
I don't-
he's probably fine, but no, he's got a bad team. Nope.
All right, we'll see. Time will have to tell, I think, on the Daboll train.
Are we
I
all
think
on
he-
the under on this one?
Let's find out. 7.5 is the over/under for the New York Giants. I'm on the under. Shane, what about you?
I'm gonna go. They're a 4-win team.
Okay, so we're
I'm on the
okay.
under. I'm on the under.
Screw it. We'll take the over. Let's
All
go.
right.
Let's
Jonathan's
freaking
going
go.
high.
My guy
All
likes
right.
throwing
Stays
money away.
healthy,
My guy
he
likes
is
throwing
a-
money away.
No, Barkley
Actually, I
stays
just looked
healthy.
at their
He's a top
schedule.
5 running back in the league. He carries New York to at least 7, 8 games.
I didn't look at their schedule before because it's the Giants, but I just looked at it right now. They actually have their non-conference games are kind of favorable.
Hey,
Who do they
I
have?
think there's
Don't they
I
have?
think there's some teams that they were terrible
Deep-
last year that are going to be good.
Detroit, Jacksonville.
Detroit's gonna be good,
Chicago.
dude.
You just named the top 2 teams that I think that they sucked last year, but they're not going to be good, but they're going to be better than the freaking Giants.
Detroit will win 6 games, yes.
I think Detroit's going to hit their over, but we'll get there. in
And
a
that's
second.
great for the city of Detroit. They love 6 wins.
Jacksonville's got a Trevor Lawrence looked pretty sharp at the end of last year, so we'll see if he can make the step. He's got a real football coach now. No Urban Meyer sticking his fingers up people's butts.
Urban Meyer's
Yeah.
one of the greatest coaches ever. Just saying.
I mean-
he's a bad person, but good coach.
Urban Meyer for professional.
He was a good
football,
college coach because he could
Had the
recruit.
most entertaining season. Last year is the most entertaining season of football, just an off the field drama that we've had in
Yeah,
a long
agreed.
time. It was
This
glorious.
is this is for Urban. The Urban.
All right,
U.
here we go. AFC East. We're gonna fly through some of these. Bills, legitimate Super Bowl contender. My
They win.
biggest
Of course,
question,
yeah, 100%.
Can
They win it this year.
Can they recover from the heartbreak of 13
They have the
seconds?
best. They have the best quarterback in the league. Maybe second
No,
best.
whoa.
Maybe
Blake,
second best at
Blake,
worst.
Let's relax on
I'm
Josh
I'm
Allen
100% on
being the
Josh
best quarterback
Allen.
in the
Dude's a
league.
beast. His arm is electric.
Okay,
Tom Brady's still playing.
Yeah,
Biggest
bro. The
concern.
goat, the
Yeah.
goat's still in the
No,
game,
but
baby.
Tom Brady. No, I agree.
He's the
Tom
GOAT,
Brady is the
man.
GOAT. He's the
Hey,
GOAT.
Hey, you never bet against him, so that's
I
the
will never
facts.
bet against him, but I also like Josh Allen at this point in their careers more than I like
what
Tom
about,
Brady.
what about
Yeah.
Mr. Ayahuasca?
Oh, I love. Is that,
I
hey,
mean-
hot take. Is that what Tom Brady's been doing for 11 days? Is he was on an ayahuasca?
That's what I kind of thought. He was
He's
with Aaron Rodgers in the jungles of Panama.
Or
There was
it that
22 people with him.
Did he just have a bottle of avocado tequila then just throwing him off? So, my biggest issue with the Bills from last year is their pass defense. Specifically, you saw that in their loss to the Chiefs, that they can give up a field goal in 13 seconds. And also, I mean, the score to that game was ridiculously high. Everyone complained over the offseason about the overtime rules because they're a bunch of babies. Because Josh Allen didn't get a chance to get the football. It's like, okay,
I will die on that hill.
but you want them to change the rules or you want to keep
I
it
want
as
to
is?
change it. 100%
Oh
want
my
to change
goodness,
it.
Blake, what are we doing?
I
We're gonna do
100% wanna
college
change it.
football rules? That's
I
terrible.
think the coin flip should not be that influential on the outcome of the game.
It's not the
ever.
coin flip. They got to drive 75 yards and score a touchdown.
Agreed. I agree.
If
I
you
agree,
can't
but if
get a
you
team
are,
off the field, you don't deserve to make it.
but I
on in the
agree. But
playoffs.
teams also have different strengths. If your defense is your strength or your
I
offense is
agree
your
with
strength,
Blake.
you totally eliminate the
I
best player
agree.
on the field.
Put time on the clock. And if you're still tied at the end of that, you can put more time on the clock.
You
Just
can't,
run
you
it back
cannot
over
ask
and
these
over.
players to play that much. They will
Don't
I
die.
also agree
care.
with that.
Never will. Won't care. You make millions of dollars to play football. Just play football.
Now, I will say, regular season, I am all on board. Field goal contest. Let's do this. Let's see.
Honestly,
Let's put it to the test. Field goal
Imagine that
contest.
the
Let's
soccer
go for it.
player wants the kickers to be more.
I'm
No,
not gonna
no.
lie. I will
It's because-
tune into any soccer game that's in PKs. So I'm there for that.
I
It
agree.
is
I agree
because,
on that one
one,
too. I'm in.
It's exciting, and two, it adds value to the kicker. That's my thing.
Pistol.
Is a lot of
Come here.
people say that the kicker is not a valuable position. That adds value to it, and so teams will think about that before they're going on.
Postseason though, you gotta let both teams have the ball regardless.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
What's the
Come here.
hey guys? What's the biggest phrase in football history? Defense wins championships. If you can't get the other team off
But the
field,
game
you
is
deserve to
the
lose.
game is so different. The game is so different.
Oh no,
Had
as
the-
a Raiders
my
fan,
problem
I
is,
think it's
if the
just win,
Bills-
baby. Just
If the Bills won that coin toss, they also would have gotten a touchdown.
For sure.
I'm
And
100%
that's
convinced of that.
totally fine. The Chiefs defense was terrible. They don't deserve to go on. However, the Bills defense that day also
Was also
sucked. They
terrible.
don't deserve to go on.
But I also
Overtime should
think
just be
both
another
quarterbacks
quarter.
were just
Well-
dialed in. Both quarterbacks were just dialed
We'll,
in.
we'll never change Austin's mind on this.
We gotta move.
We
no, no,
won't.
no. Hey,
We won't.
And you can't even accuse me because I've lost to it. Right? I lost to it with Tom
I
Brady
agree.
the year before or whatever, 2 years before.
Yeah.
Like it's just what happens. If you can't get a team out, I am a firm believer of if defense is important, and if we make the game all about offense, which the rules and the penalties already are, like overtime is where the defense can shine. If you got a defense that can get them to go 3 and out, you got to use a huge advantage.
I still hate it because the coin toss determines it.
Other things that I was worried about is can Josh Allen actually beat Patrick Mahomes? Like he's starting to become his boogeyman.
That's the
And
only
time
loss
out.
I've got
Time
for
out.
him this year. That's
Allen
the only
played his
loss.
best game of his life, and he still lost.
bro, the amount of talent the Chiefs have had for so
No,
many years.
Patrick Mahomes
that
is-
road is
Is
over.
amazing.
Josh Allen has
What do you
more
mean?
talent
The
now.
Bills are the Bills have extreme amounts of talent last year. They still couldn't get over the line. And
Nah.
I would say the same thing. Patrick Mahomes has a boogeyman of Tom Brady.
No, for sure.
That's what I was going to say. At one
But that's
point,
because
Patrick
Tom
Mahomes'
Brady's the
boogeyman is
GOAT.
Tom Brady.
I think it
Go.
becomes
Josh
a
Allen's-
psychological. I think it's a psychological issue with Josh Allen. Is what I'm trying to say here.
No,
I
I'm
think-
disagree. I think Josh Allen, that was his first big time moment in my mind.
I
Nah,
think
nah, on
regular
that.
season, the Bills'
he
only
played
loss
great.
comes to the Chiefs.
He played
He
great.
played great.
He played the best game of his life, and he still lost. Think of the psychological.
So the better
toil there.
question is, are the Bills boogeyman
And
Patrick Mahomes?
Mahomes didn't even play great that game, and Mahomes still beat him.
He played so good though. Like
It's
that was the biggest moment of his career. He played fantastic.
All right.
Mahomes has
think
been
when
in
it
bigger
boils
moments.
I
when
will
it boils
say
down to it, it's going to be Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes in 10 years. We're going to have the same damn conversation.
I mean, the AFC is going to just be awful for the future. I mean, it's going to be fantastic to watch, but if your team is in the AFC, it is not a fun watch because it's brutal.
No.
Just
All
love it.
right. I am on the train that the Bills will not make it to the Super Bowl this year, even though they are hands down the favorite. They are favorited over the Los Angeles Rams, the reigning Super Bowl champions who returned almost every single player. But let's go on from them.
Except
The
Odell,
Bills,
give my boy a contract.
the Bills are at 11.5, playing in the AFC East.
And
Over
playing a
or
tough
under,
division.
around the horn. Shane, over under 11.5.
They lose one game to the Kansas City Chiefs.
They lose way more than
One
It's
game.
so difficult to do that. But yes, Shane, that was ballsy.
One game. They kind
so
of-
Shane's on the over. Jonathan, what about you?
I'm over, but they ain't just winning. Ain't just losing one game. But I do think they win the Super Bowl. So I'm
Okay.
definitely going to have a future on that. So it's all good.
Blake, what about yourself?
I'm hesitantly on the over because the Dolphins kind of scare me. New England has Bill Belichick.
Yep.
The Jets are going to be terrible, but they
Yes,
play a tough
agreed.
division.
I think I don't know about tough division, but I am with you. I think they hit the over, but I think that they only make it to 12 games.
I think 12 is the
wins.
number if they hit it.
12,
12 is the number.
I think FanDuel crushed it this year, actually, when I was going through. There were so many toss-ups for me, but all right, we're moving it on to the Miami Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins, fantastic offseason. I mean, the offense of Tua, who is not a bad quarterback. He is
I think he's
extremely
going to take a
accurate,
step up.
and he's extremely protective of that football. With Gesicki, Waddle, who was incredible, and Tyreek is that's a nightmare. Plus, you got X playing on the corner and on the defense. Defense is not bad, but
Tyreek is Tyreek.
They have an
doing it, you do.
analytics. They got an analytics coach, y'all. So that scares me right there. They got a new coach.
I like Mike McDaniel though.
Mike McDaniel
Not gonna
loves
lie, I
those
like
analytics.
Mike McDaniel.
I like him too.
My real
I
question.
I like the
Go ahead, bud.
Dolphins. If you think about last year, I couldn't even name their best offensive player last year.
Oh, Mike
Who was
Gesicki and Jalen Waddle were incredible last year.
Jalen Waddle was good.
Okay, so now who do they got this year? Tua is going to improve. I like the Dolphins.
I like the Dolphins as well. I do not think they will beat the Bills for the division.
I don't either, but I
no,
think
I
they'll
don't
finish
either.
second. I think they'll beat New
My
England.
biggest question from this whole offseason for the Miami Dolphins, did Brian Flores get effed over?
Yeah.
I think he did. 100%.
He was not a bad coach in Miami. I mean,
They started
don't know.
terrible last year.
but I mean they finished strong. He got that
What were they?
offense
They started out 0-6 and they ended up finishing what? Even almost.
I mean, we had the whole he was possibly getting paid to tank games
Yeah, that's bad.
situation.
I don't know if I agree with that.
If that's the case,
possible.
that's
It's
bad.
an allegation, Blake. Bill Belichick might have pulled the sneakiest move of all time with Tom Brady nonsense. So
Yeah,
good for
he's a
him.
scumbag.
I mean, he's a genius. He runs the
Does Flores going back and forth between Fitzmagic and Tua kind of validate the whole getting paid to tank situation?
No, I think he was trying to win. I think Tua really struggled in the stretch, and we all know that Fitzmagic can pour it on when he needs to.
Fitzmagic wins games, baby.
They
He
finished
wins
8-1.
I agree.
That's last year.
Yeah, they were looking really good at the end of the year, which I don't think
8-1.
they can take the Bills, but I think that they are going to be the team that you don't want to play in the playoffs because it hurt me so bad. I mean, he deserves it and deserves to get paid. Tyreek Hill is, I will quote the great Michael Lombardi, he scares the shit out of defensive coordinators. You have to plan your entire game plan on every play. Make sure that Tyreek Hill does not get over the top on you. And Jalen Waddle is also very fast. So, I mean, they are terrifying to play on defense this year.
They got too fast.
That offense is going to be electric if Tua can do it.
Which brings me to, I think, the most shocking line that I saw on FanDuel. The Dolphins are at 8.5 games.
I'm taking the over.
I'm hammering the over.
That
might be the one where I bet, 2.5 credits or something like on the over for the year. As long as they can stay healthy now.
And Austin's conservative now.
That is the problem with future bets. If an injury happens that is crucial.
Yeah, you're in trouble. Yep.
You're in so much trouble. All right. I think the rest of the division we can fly through. The Patriots. Can Bill Belichick keep the Death Star going?
I think their offense is going to take a huge step backwards.
I think Mac Jones is going to get exposed.
You can't count out Bill. That's my thing. It's Bill Belichick.
And this is my betting tip for my people that are listening to this. All of them, probably 2 viewers that will have, or 4 probably, maybe the wives and girlfriends, mothers will listen along. Bet every under for the New England Patriots this game. Yeah, every single game, bet the under. Their unders last year were 12-5 or something like that. They crushed it. They don't score, but they don't let people score. All right, real quick, around the horn, 8.5 for the Patriots as well. What do we say?
Give me the under.
Say that. I can't choose. I can't. I don't know. It's Bill.
What is this nonsense? I'm on the
It's Bill. I don't know because I want to say the over, but I don't think they'll be that good. But it's Bill Belichick. It's like going against freaking Pop. And
Pop has regressed.
Hey, for this year with Pop, bet the under. They're gonna
be terrible. They don't have a single player over the age of 17.
The New York Jets. Zach Wilson is a legend. Yes, we can all agree. Zach Wilson is a legend.
Hanging moms.
I'm excited to see Joe Flacco. Really excited to see Joe Flacco back in the league. He's got.
I was gonna say, I think Joe Flacco's a game changer.
All I wrote down for the New York Jets is they will suck. Does anyone have anything that disagrees with that statement?
No, they're gonna suck.
I think Moore is going to have a fantastic season because I think he might be the only person that touches the ball. So,
I mean,
When Jonathan was going through his Mormon phase, he was wishing that Zach Wilson was around.
yeah,
That's
for
all.
sure.
He thought he was going to be Zach Wilson.
All I can say is that they might go. They're going to go 0-6 in their division. Yes, like the Patriots
Oh,
will
yeah.
whoop them twice.
Yeah.
The Dolphins. I mean, they might score 100. Same with the Bills. So
They
What
might
they
go
end
1
the
and 5.
season
They
last
might
year
just
with-
sneak in. They might just sneak in and win one of them. They might go 1
They're-
and 5.
their
They
over
won, like-
under is. What's up, Jonathan? Go ahead.
how many games did they win last year? 3 or 4?
Hold on.
4.
They squeezed
got it
out
right
a
here.
few.
ESPN puts the preseason up. No one cares about the preseason ranking. They were 4-13 last year.
Under.
Yeah, I don't see them go. Their
Yeah.
over under is 5.5. I do not see them improving from last year. So maybe they'll win 5
No.
instead of 4, but I don't see them getting to 6. So I have the under
Yeah,
on the Jets.
I have
as
the
well.
under.
under. And I can't
All
wait to
right.
pick up whatever defense they're playing against on fantasy every week. It's going to be
There
great.
you go. Let's move on to the NFC South, where most of the teams are pathetic. Starting with the Atlanta Falcons. The Atlanta Falcons, we have Marcus Mariota is starting quarterback. Does Desmond Ridder see the field real quick? Yes or no?
No,
Yes.
I like Mariota and I like Arthur Smith. They're going to do this thing.
I'm also.
I like.
on that.
Hey, my problem is I like Arthur Smith. I think Mariota is going to suck, and he's going to have to throw Ritter in there.
I think
Arthur Smith and
Mariota.
Mariota. I think Mariota's fine too.
I think that they have low expectations, and so Mariota will.
That's
stay
the
in
perfect place to be.
Okay, if
I like
Arthur
Desmond
Smith
Throw.
has low expectations, I will agree that Mariota will be fine. But if they
Now-
have high expectations, no, get him out.
I think the most
Mariota looked
important
fine in the
question that I
preseason.
had, which has nothing to do with anything that I do, because I do not play fantasy football. Will Pitts be good for fantasy football this year for your team?
Well, he's on my team, so I hope so.
It'll be
Okay.
fantastic.
All right.
He's
I
their
mean,
best target. No, he's their best
they have
target.
0 wide receivers. That
They
I
have
know.
nobody.
Yeah.
Their best receiver is suspended because he bet a parlay for $2,500.
Hey, let's talk about that real quick. Calvin
Yeah,
Ridley got
that's-
screwed.
That's
right?
baloney.
Bullshit.
That is
Calvin Ridley got
baloney.
Screwed,
He
right?
bet on his team to win. He bet on him to
And-
win.
Yeah, if you're betting on your team to lose, or you have a way to justify the outcome, then I
He
can
was
see it.
injured.
Yeah.
I
He
know
was
that's what I'm
injured.
saying. He had no way to decide an outcome of a game. It's
And
not
And the
like Pete
NFL is
Rose.
taking money from gambling companies.
When
Yes,
both
yes, it's
Deshaun
correct.
Watson
Yeah,
verdict came
exactly.
down, surely he's just furious, right? Like,
Oh, he's
Oh,
geez,
for sure.
Deshaun gets
Dude.
6 games, but I'm
Hey,
suspended.
he
Okay,
is
wait,
sitting
now
at
for weapons.
Magic City right now, some chicken
Oh, yeah.
wings, having a night.
Chicken wings. Yeah, all right. So
DeAndre
Atlanta-
Hopkins is also pissed about the freaking Deshaun Watson situation.
Dude,
Yeah,
every player in the league should be pissed about Deshaun Watson. The guy hasn't met a female he hasn't sexually harassed in his entire fucking life.
all right. They also had a bottom 5 defense last year, so not a great stat. Their over/under this year is 4.5 games.
Give me the over. I'm taking the over. Their division
I-
is terrible. Their division is
Yeah.
terrible.
I'm taking the over.
Give me the over.
I'll take the over. Marcus has a good game, and
Oh no, guys,
Let's go
we're on the
Ducks.
under for sure. Tom Brady.
I'm on the over.
That's 2 losses. Baker Mayfield, of course. I don't care about Baker Mayfield.
wait till we get to
Carolina,
the Panthers.
Carolina had a top 10 defense. I'm taking Carolina to win 2 games against them. The Saints have a decent defense. I do not trust the Falcons offense. I'm hitting the under. The Falcons going to be pick number 1 this year.
Whoa.
They have nowhere to throw the ball to, which
No,
I don't know
they
if y'all
don't.
paid
They don't.
attention. It's a passing league now. I know Cordero Patterson is really fun to watch run the football wearing 84, but I think they suck. So, all right.
As
here we
an
go.
Atlanta native, they're going to win 5.
They're going to the
You're
Super
not
Bowl.
a native. You just live there.
All right. Carolina Panthers. Baker Mayfield has been named starting quarterback over Sam Darnold, who is now injured.
Due to injury.
Oh, I really wanted. No, Baker won it before Sam Darnold was injured.
Baker was gonna win that no matter what. Sam
Yeah,
Darnold
Darnold
is
is
bum.
trash.
Baker is
He's
better
trash.
than Sam Darnold. We can agree with that. I don't love him as much as Skip Bayless loves him. But
I like Baker.
my question to
What does
y'all
Skip?
is,
Wait, what did Skip Bayless say?
oh, dude, you not listen
Oh,
to
he
my
loves
boy
Baker.
Skip?
OU, an OU guy?
Yeah, OU
I
loves
can't. I
Baker.
can't listen to Skip Bayless. I want to shoot my brains out
No,
every
it's so
time I hear
fun.
him talk.
My question to y'all is: Baker Mayfield a boom or a bust? No, let's not call it a boom. Is he good enough or is he a bust? Do we consider Baker?
The bad
Mayfield
part is
overrated?
he is either a boom or he is a bust.
Yeah.
There is no in between with Baker Mayfield.
He is
I
the #1 draft pick this year. Did not get re-signed by the Cleveland Browns and is now on another team. Is that a
No,
bust
no,
or is it good?
Cleveland did the most Cleveland thing possible.
yeah, they did.
They had a semi-decent average quarterback that most teams in the league kind of wish they had because there's at least 5. I can name at least 5 teams that have a shitty quarterback compared to Baker Mayfield. And Cleveland Browns did what Cleveland does, and they just decided to suck for no fucking reason.
Well,
All
here's
right.
part of the problem.
Hey,
He
let me
played
hit
last
you with
season
it,
with
though.
no shoulder. He played last season with no shoulder.
Exactly.
Yes,
My
And
dude
his
Hey.
coach
sacrificed
exposed
his
him. His
body
coach
for that
screwed
team.
him.
Hey, this
He
was like what?
sacrificed everything for that team, and they
No.
fucked him.
What year was this for Baker? Year 4?
Yeah.
He's had plenty of opportunities. Can I hit y'all with 2 stats that show, in my opinion, I think Baker Mayfield is a humongous bust. Last year, he had a top 5 defense, top 3 rushing offense.
No
Doesn't
shoulder.
matter. These stats also apply to the year before when he did not have a bum shoulder. He lost to Chad Henne in the playoffs that year. Mahomes went out and he lost to Chad Henne. Baker doesn't have it. I think if we actually look, Baker's first 2 years, his stats with a much better football team were comparable to one Jonathan Manziel, who had
Johnny
no
football,
team.
baby.
Baker is a bust. Now I think he will thrive, not thrive.
Oh,
I think he will do
career-wise,
better.
he's a bust.
Yeah.
100%.
I think he will do better
Yeah.
with
Who's the number 1 pick?
Carolina because Carolina's offense. I mean, McCaffrey's gonna get injured. We can all agree.
That's the
It's gonna
problem.
happen.
McCaffrey will be gone week 4. He'll
If
be
doesn't
gone.
matter.
McCaffrey's healthy,
It doesn't even
he's
matter.
fine.
Not gonna be healthy. That's the problem.
Forget McCaffrey. Look at Carolina's 3 receivers. They are fantastic.
I don't trust Carolina.
Oh, I don't trust Carolina.
I
but
think
go ahead.
no. I just think I think he'll be at Carolina for 1 year, and if Baker Mayfield would take the role of a Ryan Fitzpatrick, he'd have a great NFL career in that light. He will never do that.
He's
the
a
bouncing
starter.
around team to team.
Baker's a starter. He's just not gonna ever, get you to the promised land.
But does Matt Rule make it through past this season? Matt Rule gets fired at the end of the season, I think.
No,
I
Matt
think
Rule
he's
is a
done.
great college football coach. He is
Matt
not-
Rule's gonna be the
to
next
get an NFL
Nebraska
coach.
head coach. Calling it right now. Right now, Scott Frost
There you go.
gets fired.
Matt
Rule
Rule
is the
might
next-
need to go to rehab. Matt Rule might need
Next.
Did y'all see
looks
that picture of him at the
Nebraska
coaching
head
days?
He looks
He
rough.
might need rehab. He looks rough. I think it's taking a toll on him.
Then Omaha, Nebraska is a great place for him to go.
I don't know. Scott Frost tried that too. It's not working out.
Yeah, Scott Frost is a bum.
You wouldn't have said that 4 years ago, 3 years ago.
No,
Yeah,
You wouldn't
I've
have.
never been a Scott Frost guy.
He was the most touted.
Over our
First
own
six
Jimbo
guys.
Fisher.
Yeah.
Hey, he was supposed to be the next Nick Saban, bro.
Yeah.
It's worked out. It's worked out.
Tim
Yeah, it worked out.
Tim Brando agrees with you, my guy.
He flew all the way to Ireland to get his ass kicked by Northwestern. So that's great.
Yeah.
Should have left him on the
Anyways.
tarmac in Ireland. Be done with
Here
it.
we go. Hey,
I'm taking
we
the
will get to
under on
college
the-
football, gentlemen.
I'm taking the under on the Panthers.
Panthers is 6.5.
Give me the over. They're
I'm
gonna
on
win
the
7
over as
games.
well.
I'll take the over.
All right, there we go. Moving on.
Actually, I'll
Boulet.
take the over. I'll take the over because they're going to beat the Saints twice.
All right. That brings us to our glorious Saints.
They're gonna
real-
suck.
Saints team
there's
right
o-
here.
No, there's one important question.
Jameis
Can
got his LASIK.
Can Jameis see?
No, he's
Jameis
but
can
he is
see.
he's eating dubs.
Hey, I just want the 30 for 30 to come out on throwing 30 interceptions with 30 touchdowns. That's all I want.
Hey, Jonathan, I don't know if you saw this, but I actually asked, can we get a 40 for 40 season? Can we get 40 touchdowns and 40
Do it.
picks?
That would be electric.
I say let's
That would be
do it.
electric.
Do it.
My biggest concern is Kamara being suspended is an issue,
Yeah, he's gone.
but their defense is still great.
Hey, Michael Thomas is
But they-
back, baby.
Is
I
he,
would have
though?
said that.
Isn't he
I
injured?
honestly, I would have said that before today, but they like Gardner, whatever.
Oh,
he
they're
was
like
their best
Gardner Johnson
quarterback.
go. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I have for the Saints. Their over under is 8.5. I'm taking the under.
under.
I'll take under.
I did this before everything. My hot take is the Saints are going to be a top 3 draft pick.
Oh, okay. Hey,
That's not even hot.
no faith in
They are-
Jameis.
They are going to suck. They are going to
Follow-up question.
absolutely suck.
How many games does Taysom Hill start at quarterback?
I
I-
hope
I-
it's the damn season.
They dropped Ian Book today, and I was like, I guess they're going with Taysom as backup.
No, I don't think he'll play. I think they're going to ride with Jameis all season because he got that LASIK. He's eating dubs. He's
Dubs.
firing up the team at
He's taking them
pregame
crab
at
legs.
halftime. Yeah,
Don't they have
he's
the Saints
feeling
have a
right.
new
His
coach?
cousin's
Chains.
birthday. It's gonna be his cousin's birthday.
yeah.
The Saints have a new coach this year, right?
Yeah, they
Yeah,
do.
it's our boy
Yeah,
Dennis
Sean
Allen
Payton.
or whatever.
I
his
told
name
Dennis
is.
Allen.
Totally forgot about that.
Aggie, Texas A&M, gig 'em.
So I think they win. In all honesty, if you want my real truth on this, I think they win. I'm looking at their schedule right now. I got them with 3 dubs.
I got them 6-11.
That's brutal.
Shane, as the only Saints fan on here, how
They
mad
suck.
are you going to be when Sean Payton comes out of retirement to coach the Cowboys next year when McCarthy gets tossed?
I don't give a shit at this point. They're gonna suck, and it is what it is. And we're gonna go get a quarterback next year because we're gonna be top 3 in the draft. We're fighting for 3 quarter. The bottom 3 are fighting for 3 quarterbacks. So we're gonna fight for the. I say you just bum the season, go get the number 1, and see what happens.
Just
I think
ownership.
Dennis Allen could be a good coach. I really do. I think that the defense is 2 or 3 injuries away from sucking. Specifically the defensive line, and they're gonna suck.
So we're all
I
on
think-
the under on this one, I'm assuming.
Yeah. All
I'd
right.
be really high on the Saints if Jameis wasn't their quarterback.
Yeah, I
like
think
him.
that's a
He's
lot
so
of
fun to
me.
watch.
I like
Not
Jameis
good,
more
but
than
he's
y'all
fun
do,
to watch.
apparently. I actually
Like-
like Jameis.
He's
Yeah,
fun to
like,
watch.
Your draft
Pre-game
pick
He's
is
and
hilarious.
post-game.
fantastic.
I mean, his warm-up is
Alright.
absolutely amazing.
Let's keep it moving. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Here we go. My
Go.
biggest concern. I don't even care about Tom Brady missing 11 days. He's gonna be fine. He's
No.
very
He
good.
can
at
do whatever he
football.
wants.
I
Their,
don't care about
their
that.
offensive line is getting obliterated by injuries this offseason.
They
Now,
just lost their center.
I'm sure they will trade or they will find a way to beat the cap like every team seems to be doing. The cap doesn't exist anymore. There's no salary cap.
It's fake. Yeah, the salary cap's fake.
Tom Brady has been proven if he does not have time, Tom Brady is not great. If they get pressure,
That's
which
true.
the Saints every year find a way to eat his lunch.
Oh, yeah.
Because they get pressure on him. But I think the
That's where one
Panthers-
of the 3 wins comes from. Is the
I
Tampa
think
Bay
the
Buccaneers.
Panthers can get pressure on him. The Falcons will not. But week 1, with everyone injured, I'm a little concerned for our boy Thomas in Dallas, down at Jerry World. I'm not saying
Is it-
necessarily that they're going to lose, but I think he might get beat up a little bit, or they're going to have to throw the ball very quick. But Godwin should be back, so that's good. What are our thoughts?
Here's the
Who do you
question,
think-
though.
Yeah, go for it.
They're playing at Dallas week 1 and then at New Orleans. So we know New Orleans defense is going to be healthy week 2. I think Dallas could hurt them a little bit, and then I think once again one of the 3 Saints wins is going to come in week 2, and it's going to be against the Bucks because I think they're going to destroy Tom Brady.
Here's the thing with Tom Brady and the Bucks. It doesn't matter how they start. They might start the season 0-6. They're going to make the playoffs, and Tom Brady's going to do whatever he wants.
I 100% wrote down on our little big script here. Are they the Los Angeles Lakers of the NFL, where they are just going to like coast through regular season to make the playoffs and then just turn it on.
Well, that was a little
Their Super
generous
Bowl
of the
year.
Lakers.
Their Super Bowl year, didn't they go like they started the season terribly and then they turned
started
it on.
rough.
I mean, they started the playoffs terribly. They almost lost to the Washington football team. Taylor Heineke
Yeah.
almost beat them. It was a close game.
Yeah.
I do have a hot take for Tampa. I think Gage will actually end up being their second most used wide receiver this year.
Behind the man, the myth, the legend, Mike Evans, correct?
Mike Evans, yeah.
That's
Mike
a perfect
Evans.
transition.
Correct.
What about
I have-
Godwin? What are you doing with Godwin?
Godwin gets
No,
the most
I like
targets,
Godwin.
but he
I
won't be the
just
most
think
important.
Russell Gage is just going to be big. He's going to be a big tool for them.
I have written it down here. Mike Evans, is he the most underrated wide receiver in the NFL?
He's underrated because he plays on the Bucs.
Probably.
At this time.
The stat that I saw the other day that he has put up better numbers than Devontae Adams over the past 5 years. And no
Yeah.
one talks about it.
I think nobody talks about him because he's on the Bucs.
I think he's more of a red zone. He doesn't get as many targets as Adams is the thing. But yardage wise, he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 consecutive years over 1,000 yards. And he's got, in those 8 years, 75 touchdowns.
Mike
He
Evans
doesn't get-
also
he doesn't get-
may be the reason Jameis Winston still is playing in the NFL.
I mean, it's possible. I mean, he's the reason why Jonathan Manziel won. a
30
Heisman,
touchdowns
so.
and 30
Uh,
interceptions.
Yeah,
I mean,
30 touchdowns. But
he is a red zone menace to defenses. He
Agreed.
is huge.
because
runs
he's a
some-
massive human being.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's massive. He runs a crisp route too. He looks really slow, but he's not super slow.
He's
But
not
he
slow at
because he's
all.
a big guy. He runs and it looks awkward.
He's
and
6'5".
slow.
He's 6'5", so he's just big.
Yeah,
He's
big.
athletic as hell.
He doesn't have the most athletic running style. I will say that.
No, he
looks a
doesn't.
He looks a little awkward.
Remember that-
and gangly
Remember
on
that playing
his
college against Alabama when he had like the 95-yard reception?
Yeah,
he
he's
looked
just stiff-arming
unathletic
the
as
guy
could
the whole
be.
time? Oh,
Yes.
great. All right. So yeah, I really think
If Dallas beats Tampa, do they start the season out 0-4? They go Dallas, New Orleans,
No.
Green Bay, and KC.
Nope.
no.
I think it's
They'll find a
very
win
easy
in
to
there.
start the season 0-4.
No way. I think Tampa wins 3 of those games.
Yeah, I would agree.
I think Green Bay is having a down year. Unfortunately, Kansas City is having a down year. I think that they lose to Dallas week 1 though. And
I'm still the 11.5 seems high. I don't know why it seems high.
the over under of 11.5 does seem high, but I don't know their division.
Yeah,
Their
the division's
division
bad.
sucks.
That's the only problem.
My problem is there's always a game. Tom Brady always struggles once against the Saints. The Saints know
Yep.
how to play him.
And their
really
O-line is
well.
not good. Their O-line is not going to be
The
great.
Saints are going to beat them week 2. Take it to the bank. They're going to beat them week 2, and that's the only time they'll beat them. They play him again, I think, the last week of the season. No, golly, like 5.
I'm trying to
They
remember.
play
I
'em,
took the Bucks under. I have them at 11-6.
I'm taking the under as well. I don't trust 12 games.
I'll take the under. I'm taking the over on the next thing, though.
Under. I'll take on.
Me too.
All right, here we go. We're moving on. Now we're in the AFC South. We're back.
Over.
This is most of us live in Texas, and Texas football is king, hence the name of the podcast. So let's talk about the Houston Texans and their amazing football team. Deshaun Watson has just obliterated this football team, and they also are they going to
They're a little-
lawsuit?
I was going to say, they're a little bit liable for all this, so they might be in
Yeah,
trouble
they're a little
too.
bit. I mean, can we not think about the fact he had like what 65 different masseuses in a year? Can we not?
He
think
never
about the fact
met a
that that's
female
bad?
that he didn't sexually assault.
Now,
And
I
the
will
Texans
say-
created the NDA, so that's a little sketchy.
I love Davis Mills.
Yeah.
I'm all over
Me
Davis
too.
Mills.
Love Davis Mills.
I love him as a 5-win quarterback. I love him as a 5-win.
Hey, the last season that Deshaun Watson played, 4 wins. The first season Davis Mills played, 4 wins.
I'm on
And
Davis Mills.
Davis
Let's
ain't
get 5
raping
this year.
people.
I
Let's
think
have
they
the
get.
Texans get 5.
I think they get to 5, and that's the big question. Their over/under line is at 4.5. It's a tough line. Are they going to get to 4 or 5?
I've
got
got
him.
5.
I've got him at 6.
6. All right. Hey, there we go.
I like it. I like their offense.
There's a
I
chance
like
think
the
that-
over just because I like Davis Mills, and I just hope they get the over.
there's
I
a
think
strong
they
chance
upset
they
Indy
go
week
0-17.
1.
I think Brandon Cooks is going to be electric for him.
I mostly just think it'd be hilarious if they win 5 games. So I want the over.
Yeah, man. I could see them winning 5. I could see them winning 0 and every number in between. Like they
Yeah.
are an enigma this year.
There's
Austin's
no rhyme or reason for what could happen.
Austin's like, I'm not done. And we're like halfway through. I got to pour some more. Let's
Oh,
just keep going.
Bibb and Tucker have made themselves the second round here. I mean,
If we
no
still
way.
have listeners, this is just fascinating.
This is great. I got to teach in the morning. It's fine. All right, here we go.
I gotta wake
Indianapolis
up at
Colts.
5:30 tomorrow.
Yeah,
Yeah, I got to
Indianapolis
leave
Colts.
from my new house by 5. So
Matt
I don't have
Ryan.
to work tomorrow, so I'm on that Biden paycheck. You guys got
There
me
we go.
screwed up.
Matt Ryan. Can his career be resurrected? That's the question.
I actually love the Colts this year.
You love the
Jonathan Taylor.
I hate the Colts this year.
I like the Colts. I'm not
Jonathan
gonna lie.
Taylor.
I think
I hate
Jonathan
the
Taylor's a
Colts.
beast. Matt
All
Ryan
right.
is just good enough. If you got it, do you think Carson
Pittman.
Wentz or Matt Ryan is better? That's the question.
Matt Ryan.
I think
It's the
Matt
same
Ryan,
team with Matt Ryan as quarterback.
No, Matt Ryan is safer. He's not better.
That's what you need. That's exactly what you need.
Take care of the ball, baby. That's all
Austin.
you got to do.
Austin, when you're talking about paying a running back, does Jonathan Taylor go in that category for you of running backs you're willing to pay?
Jonathan Taylor gets paid. You do not cripple your team, though. You do not give a big contract ever to a running back.
But that doesn't matter for next year.
Oh,
this
No, the
year.
salary cap's all
Yeah.
fake.
Yeah, salary cap.
The
is
salary
fake.
cap's fake. Just give it to him in cash up front. It doesn't count as salary cap. You're good to go.
Exactly.
Cash over cap, baby.
As far as
Wow.
what I know, that's all I know. I honestly don't know how it works. I think it's fake.
While we're on the boy JT, is JT a top 3 fantasy football pick?
Yes.
he should've been number
I
one.
took him number 1
Number
yesterday.
1?
He's going to be the best.
I would say in 90% of leagues he went number 1.
It's
crazy.
a hat.
I don't play
I'm playing
fantasy
half point.
football, so
But you have to take running backs. You have to take running backs,
Well,
or maybe
I know
if you have
that,
a great
just-
receiver.
he's not my number one. He's not my number 1 running back in my opinion. I
Who's
mean, I
number
guess he
1?
maybe gets the most touches.
McCaffrey would be up there.
See,
But he's gonna get
McCaffrey,
injured.
I think McCaffrey
But
has screwed people over for 4 years in a row, and people are done.
So
with
he may not
McCaffrey,
be.
Which is
That's
why
the
I
problem.
think-
McCaffrey,
He's still going
McCaffrey
like
in my
top 3.
league
Yeah.
went in the, I think, the 4th or 5th round.
See, I think a lot of people are going to get steals on McCaffrey this year because I think this
4th
might be
and
the year
5th round for McCaffrey.
I think this might
Dude,
be
I've
the
been
year
seeing
that
him
he
go
stays
3rd, 4th
healthy.
pick.
He
every
might be
time.
late first, but not 4th and 5th round.
All right, I had 2 questions with the Indianapolis Colts besides the Jonathan Taylor. FanDuel has them and the Titans with the same over/under. Can they actually compete with the Titans, who have ran away with this division for the past couple of years?
Titans are trash.
I actually like the Colts more than I like the Titans.
Facts.
Is that a Tannehill fact? Are we
I
out
don't-
on our boy
Tannehill-
Tannehill?
I'm getting out of my boy Tannehill. I think if Derrick Henry is healthy the whole year, that's one thing. Tannehill makes me nervous.
All right.
Tannehill will not be the
He makes
starting
dumb-
quarterback at the end of the year.
He will be the starting quarterback 100%. He will be.
Not
Tannehill
next
is a
year.
good quarterback, but he makes boneheaded throws. He has a little bit of the Carson Wentz.
Hey, this
Touch
is
of it.
this is all I needed to know about Tannehill. He was an ag, so I will always give him that. But his dad is still the high school principal at Big Spring High School in freaking Big Spring, Texas. And he made what with the Titans? He got $100 and something million contract. When I found that out, that his dad is still the principal there, I said, I can't choose him to win anything.
Hey,
I
maybe
mean-
they got an Aaron Rodgers and his dad relationship. You don't know. You know what the
You
I-
can't
I
trust
don't
the
know.
guy that doesn't love his mother. Aaron Rodgers, no trust. No trust there.
We'll get to Rodgers. I'm sure we will spend plenty of time on Aaron Rodgers.
Talk
Second
about
question.
shrooms and all the good stuff.
Is Sam Ellinger going to start an NFL game in the regular
No.
season?
No.
I don't think Matt Ryan stays healthy.
I
think he's the clear backup, and he has looked dang good in preseason. Now, I think if he starts
Yes.
a regular season game,
He'll get
He will
dump
get-
trucked.
destroyed. But I think he will. My hot take is Sam Ellinger starts 2 football games at least this year for the Colts. Mainly
Over,
probably
under.
because of Matt Ryan injury.
Over under, how many times do we have to hear that if he plays, do we have to hear that Sam Ellinger was a fan of the Texas Longhorns and then played quarterback for the Texas Longhorns?
I'm hoping
I
that
hope
he's
we're
going
over
to come
that.
in. I'm hoping he's going to come in. They're going to win a football game after a 2-game losing streak, and we're back. It's going to be great. All right, hey, here we go, real quick. Colts 9.5 over under. Let's go.
Over.
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 I like Indiana.
I think
I
we're
like him to
all on
win
the over.
10.
I think we're all on the over this time. All
I
right,
like
there we go.
Indianapolis.
I still
Jags under.
I think the Titans beat them. The Jags, I really think that Trevor Lawrence is going to succeed this year. I think he's going to take a big step.
I disagree. I am not a Trevor Lawrence believer. I don't think he's very good.
I don't
I mean, he's
either.
good. He's got a bad team. I will say Christian Kirk helps him out. He also gets ETN back, but
Dude, Christian Kirk's contract is ridiculous.
it's not even that ridiculous anymore.
No, but it is.
He started
Dude.
the ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I like Christian Kirk.
He doesn't
But-
deserve it.
And no. Hell no.
And I'm not a Doug
Jags
Peterson
win
believer
5
either.
games.
My next hot take for the day is I
Uh-oh.
put if the Jaguars don't win 6 games, this season is a failure.
Yeah, I think they win 5 games.
With the number 1 pick, I mean, you got rid of Urban Meyer. You got
I
Doug
think that
Peterson.
they
gotta do
not
something.
win 6 games with Doug Peterson. That is a failure.
You got to
this
do
season.
something.
I also put, will they forever be cursed for cutting the man of God, Tim Tebow?
Yes.
Oh, I was thinking
Thank
you're
you.
going to say about Blake Bortles.
Blake Bortles.
I mean,
Dude,
Blake Bortles
guy
took them
should be the
almost
starters.
or to an AFC championship.
Almost
game. I don't
he,
even
200.
remember.
No.
Oh, it should have won the AFC Championship game.
Yeah, he almost took him to a Super Bowl.
Blake Bortles, sure. Gardner Minshew was the quarterback of the people.
Uncle Rico?
And they screwed him. That dude's
Where is
fantastic.
Minshew at?
That dude should be a starting
Where is
quarterback
Minshew at
somewhere.
these days? He's in
Is he
Philly.
not in Philly? Is he not in
I thought
Philly?
he
Yeah,
was.
he's in Philly.
He's in Philly. He's a backup
He might have
quarterback in Philly.
He might have moved. But all right. I have the Jags going over. I have them winning 7 games.
I have the under.
Under.
I'll take over with Austin. We've
Oh my
agreed
gosh, we've
twice.
seven.
we've agreed twice in one night. This is a bad day. All right,
This is
Tennessee
crazy.
Titans. Any chance
Nope.
that Derrick Henry continues to dominate the NFL?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. He's a
Dude,
Yeah,
he's
he's
got a
just
lot.
too big.
He has a lot of miles on him for a running back.
agreed, but he is a man among boys.
Okay.
I think they start limiting a lot of his runs though.
We touched on this a little bit. Is Ryan Tannehill on the hot seat for his starting spot with Malik
Yes.
Willis? behind him?
100%. Malik Willis
At the
looked
end
good
of the
during the
season, he will
preseason.
not be the
Yeah.
starter. Calling it.
Malik Willis looked good during the preseason.
Yeah, I had also their pass defense sucks. So if they don't improve, they're going to get destroyed in the AFC because the AFC has every good quarterback that's ever played football. They're over
Tannehill's
under.
supposed to be a team player and Trainer's replacement.
All right, I think most of us took the Colts, or all of us took the Colts as over under 9.5. Titans also 9.5.
Under.
Ah, man.
8 games.
I'm seeing, I almost see 9.
I took the
They have a
over
tough
on this
schedule,
one as
too.
well. I took the over as well on this one, and that they beat the Colts still for the division. I think it's really hard.
I
think it's
I
really hard
think
for them
that
to
they-
upend the Titans.
They got a tough schedule just because of their performance last year, correct?
Well,
I mean, yeah,
they play the Chiefs, the Chargers, the Bengals, the Packers, Raiders.
We'll see. We will see. I'm the odd one out there, so I'm thinking that they're gonna. I mean, if they're playing all those teams, though, the Colts should also be playing the majority of those teams.
Yeah, agreed.
So it'll be interesting. All right, moving on to the NFC North with the Bears, the Chicago Bears. The Chicago Bears. I did not realize this. I mean, I know that they haven't had a good quarterback in forever. They have never had a good quarterback. The Chicago
Yeah.
Bears have never had a good quarterback in their existence.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Even the years they were good, they've had terrible quarterbacks.
They had a terrible quarterback. They just had the
No, that's
best
correct.
defense the world has ever seen.
Yeah.
Can Justin Fields break the quarterback curse of the Chicago Bears?
No. I actually
Not
like
with-
Justin Fields, but I
Dude,
think
that
the
O-line
Bears are
sucks.
so bad that he'll be bad because his O-line is terrible.
I wrote 2 things for the Chicago Bears. Their O-line, woeful. Losing Allen Robinson is humongous.
Yeah.
He is
Yeah, they
so
should have
freaking
traded
good.
him.
He is so good at wide receiver. It is ridiculous.
They should have
But they
traded
gave
him
him
last
away.
year when they had the chance to get a lot more for what they like to get something. Like do something with them.
Unfortunately, I think Justin Fields is screwed.
Yeah, I think he's
I
going
think
to
he's
go
screwed.
down as another list of quarterbacks that were drafted.
Yeah, I think he
high
has
that
no-
were
I think he has
literally
no
never
chance.
given a chance.
He
I
has
used
no
to hate
chance.
Justin Fields
mean,
until
I-
the national title game
He's
at Ohio State.
I think he's a good quarterback.
He rubs me the wrong way a little bit, but I mean that's fine.
I
actually like
think
I like him more than Trevor Lawrence for some reason.
I think I agree with that, and I'm gonna go ahead a little bit. I've got them at 7 games this year. I think they'll win
7 games. Holy crap! I have them as the second worst team in football. I'm taking
Yeah,
the
I
under
do too.
for
I
sure.
got the under too. I do not think they're going to be good. I think they're going to be.
I can't
quite
wait to
awful.
rewatch this
What's the
episode right
line?
here.
That's 5.5.
5.5.
For all of our listeners, our thousands of listeners, we're at over under a 5.5 football games for Doc.
You know what,
Bears.
Shane? I'll join you. Double doink all the way to 6 games. Let's
All right.
go, Bears.
You know that the double doink was a miss, right?
Yes, it's a missed
Okay.
field goal, but I
Okay.
threw it in there because my whole family's Bears fans, other than me and my dad. So
All right, let's move on to the other really good football team in the
Okay.
NFC North.
This is who we all care about.
Hard Knocks is real quick. Hard Knocks is great. We can all agree, yes.
fantastic.
Fantastic.
Is MCDC a good coach or is he just good for content?
I think
he's great
MCDC is a
content.
good coach. No, I think he's a good coach. Remember when he was in Miami? He was the intern in Miami. He actually did really well.
And then, yes, he should have got the job there.
He should have.
I do.
He's
but
great.
we've already talked
He's
about
also a
Mike.
content machine. He's
Yeah,
also
he's
a content machine.
We've talked about Miami has some problems with their head coaches.
Dude, Dan Campbell is literally the definition of a Texas football guy.
For sure. I
Like,
wrote down,
seriously.
I
Like, you
wrote
can
down two
find
things for the
200
defense.
coaches
Well,
in high school football in Texas that are Dan Campbell.
their defense is the slowest thing ever. Our boy Michael Lombardi loves to say that they run in sand, and that is very true. I also cannot ever bet that the Detroit Lions will win 7 football games. And
Not with Jared Goff.
their over under is 6.5. So I am taking the under on the Detroit football Lions. Although I think
5.5?
their next process.
5.5, I might have taken the over. 6.5 is a lot for the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, 7 games is a lot of games for Detroit.
I'll take it.
Jared Goff.
As much of a meathead as Dan Campbell is, do we think he secretly hopes that they lose as much as possible so he can get rid of Jared Goff?
I mean, or so that he can get fired and leave the city of Detroit. Which one would you rather?
I don't
do?
think Dan Campbell hopes he ever loses. I think Dan Campbell exclusively hopes he wins 17 games,
Yeah,
whether Jared Goff is quarterback or
He wants
not.
to win every game. He wants to take your
And he will
kneecaps.
claw at your kneecaps. He will bite your kneecaps. And he doesn't care if you have 1 ass cheek and 3 fingers. He's going to
He
take
will
your ass
Whoop
on.
that ass.
Yeah, that's what's going on. All right, here
I'm
we go.
taking the over. I got him. I got him on the over.
All right,
I'll take that.
Jonathan
I
I'll
like
take
Swift-
their
the under.
offense a lot.
Jonathan
I
I'll take
think
the under.
Swift
money.
might be a top 5 running back in the league.
I think Swift is a decent fantasy pickup for this season. for sure.
Agreed. I think it's
All
the
right,
under.
Minnesota Vikings. They are the least consistent team in the NFL. They will look like Super Bowl champions one week, and then they will look like the 0-16 Cleveland Browns the next week.
Time out. Question.
Yeah.
Did Kyler get cut? Or, I'm
Kyler
sorry,
Murray?
not
I
no,
said no.
not. I'm sorry.
Kellen Mond?
Kellen Mond.
Kellen Mond
Kellen
got
get
cut. He got cut today.
I mean, yeah, he should get cut.
Yeah, I've been
waived,
trying to
whatever.
tell y'all for
Yeah.
years. Dude's a bum.
All
No,
right.
Mike Zimmer never wanted him. Mike Zimmer didn't want him from the beginning.
Dude's a bum.
Let's talk about the starting quarterback in that scenario, Mr. Kirk Cousins. Their offense has Justin Jefferson, one of the greatest receivers in the NFL currently,
He's so good.
Adam Thielen, another one of the greatest receivers in the NFL, and Cook in the backfield.
Yeah.
Why is their offense not good?
I got 2 words for you. Kirk Cousins.
I think it was Zimmer.
I mean, he doesn't help.
I think they didn't have a good OC. I think that if you put Sean McVay in that offense, that they are going places.
I just
Or
don't.
Andy
I
Reid
trust.
in that offense, they're going
I
places.
trust Kirk Cousins as much as I trust Jared Goff, and that's not very much.
I don't know what it is, but I have this sneaky feeling this year that this is the year that the Vikings kick it into gear and they play consistent football. They're not good, but they play consistent from a week-to-week basis. I didn't lose more money. I lost more money on the Minnesota Vikings and the Arizona Cardinals last year than any other team. So those are the 2 teams that just.
I'll tell you this: my head says, or my heart says that the Vikings will be a good team this year, and they'll probably win double-digit games. My head tells me no way.
All right. Well, the over/under is at 9.5. So the question is, can they get to a double digits of 10-7?
Yep.
Blake says no. Shane says yes.
They're going over.
I also have been going over, and I am a terrible host. We skipped somehow the ayahuasca man, the 2-time MVP, Aaron Rodgers, and the Green Bay Packers. Will the drugs lead to a 3rd MVP?
Drugs always lead to success.
Okay.
Dude.
No, please do not listen to those.
He does not like the word drugs. He prefers the word, what do you call it on the podcast? Medicinal or something like that?
Medicinal medicine or some type of
Herbs.
natural
Meditation.
medicine.
He had an experience, as he calls it.
Yes.
Here we
it's an
go.
experience.
We're gonna go ahead, Jonathan.
Austin one day will have students find this podcast and
Oh yeah.
and realize that one of Mr. Williamson's best friends just said drugs is always the answer.
Hence why I said do not listen to that. All right.
I'm not a drug guy, by the way.
Rapid
With all
If
fire
I
the
disclosure, I'm not a
ever
drug
win
guy.
the
But I'm a
lottery,
big
I'm
Joe
going to
Rogan
do the
guy, and I love it.
ayahuasca.
Rapid fire the Packers. Can Rodgers succeed without Devontae Adams?
Who
That's the $1 million question.
I think he actually might be better now that he has to spread the ball out. We'll see. That's my interesting take coming in. Because I mean, Rodgers, the word succeed. I mean, Rodgers is gonna succeed. Rodgers is one of the greatest throwers that the game has ever seen. The way he throws the football is ridiculous. How will LaFleur screw them over in the playoffs? I mean,
He'll probably, I
coaching is
bet.
terrible.
Here, let me lay it out for you. He'll be down by 4 with about 4 minutes left in the 4th quarter. On the 13-yard line, it'll be 4th and 1. He's gonna kick a field goal. He's gonna kick a field goal, 100%.
For sure. Also, are the Green Bay Packers guaranteed to lose the NFC Championship game this year? They'll make it there, and they will lose.
Oh,
Yep.
I don't think they'll make it there. I don't think they'll make it there.
I don't think they will either. Actually, I do think they make the playoffs, though. I think they win their.
They'll make the
division,
playoffs.
so.
Their division's not good.
You have
to trust the Vikings.
Kirk Cousins.
You have to trust the Vikings if you think the Packers aren't making playoffs. I don't trust the Vikings.
Look, if
I think they
Kirk
make the
Cousins
playoffs
plays
regardless because the
consistent
NFC is weak.
football, he won't. They won't.
It's possible that they don't win their division, but I think it is I don't think it's possible they miss the playoffs. The NFC is so weak. If you look
That's
at
the
the
thing,
AFC, you look at the AFC. The AFC has like 10 teams that are just going to kick your teeth in, and then
I believe
NFC
the
is
Packers
just like
win the division.
4. I also think that they've won it how many years in a row? All right, their over under is 10.5 though. Do they win more than 10.5 games?
Under 10.
I'll take that over.
I also will take the over. I've got them 11-6.
The boys gonna do a little acid, go out and throw an insane amount of touchdowns, and they'll be an 11-win team.
He doesn't do anything synthetic. So
Hey,
Yeah,
if he wins, if he wins
So
the
we've
third
been
straight
told.
MVP, I will be on the first flipping flight to Peru to figure this out.
I mean, dude, you don't know. I mean, he is good at throwing a football, and that's the only
like-
position that will win an MVP for the next 20 years. No, unless you just are ridiculous in another position, but nothing
Yeah, I
matters
mean, if
besides
Derrick
quarterback.
Henry didn't win MVP,
It's the
All
same
right.
as winning the Heisman in college. It's going to be a quarterback. It's a quarterback
Yeah.
trophy or whatever you want to call it. Award.
Let's move on to the AFC side, and I think one of the most interesting divisions in football, the AFC North.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
They might not be the best, but they've always got good stories going on. So we're starting off with the Baltimore Ravens. Lamar Jackson, I think, is gonna get screwed this year. I don't think he's the best. I don't think he's necessarily built for the NFL because he's not the greatest thrower of the quarterback. Or not the greatest thrower at quarterback. His wide receiver room this year is empty. They do not have people. They lose Hollywood. I mean, he's still got Mark Andrews, who's his number one target, especially in the red zone. But other than that, I cannot name you another player that plays wide receiver.
I was just about to ask, can we name another receiver he has?
I like Bateman.
If you look at their draft picks, I'm looking at it right now. They did not draft one wide receiver in the draft.
Now, they are going to get all 10,000 running backs that they lost to ACL injuries back. So you are going to have to stop the run, which is going to be difficult with the Baltimore Ravens.
Well, it's going to be Dobbins. I mean, Dobbins is the go-to.
Edwards will come back week 5.
Shit, they went 8-9 last year.
Yeah, they struggled. I mean, their defense was beat up to hell as well.
Remember at the beginning of the year, they lost every single running back they had.
They lost four
ball.
running backs in 1 week to ACL injuries.
They can't throw the ball.
I think they had more injuries probably than any team last year.
Yeah, so I think
they have
a big step
our guy Slade Bolden. Anyone remember Slade Bolden?
Not at all.
Alabama? Anyone?
Is he related to Anquan Bolden?
He's a white guy, so probably not.
I do think.
I actually know who you're talking about. I think he was number 10 for the Alabama.
No, he was I think he was 19 or 18. I think he was 18.
Rashad Bateman's gonna be.
So they have Rashad Bateman. That's about it. So
he's fine, he's not a great number 1 target for the NFL. I mean,
yeah, but Lamar Jackson's not a number 1 throwing quarterback either. He's got to throw to somebody.
Okay, they're at 10.5, fellas.
Yeah,
that's the under.
That's the over. That's the
also,
over.
No, I'm
they won 8 games last year with no team. They won 8 football games last year with 0 team. They at least have a run game this year. Also, Lamar missed. How many games did Lamar miss last year? 2, 3?
Well, he does have a case of the diarrhea every once in a while.
I mean, I had the Ravens win in the AFC North.
Just like their mascot, I think Lamar Jackson gets hurt this year.
Oh, okay.
Well, their mascot is injured.
Oh, I did see that. That's funny.
I do have to point out. Can we give a round of applause to Justin Tucker getting freaking paid? The kickers are important, people. The man is a robot. His leg is automatic. His form is the exact. Every time I watch him play, I regret the fact that 1, he went to the University of Texas, and 2, that he's not on my football team, even though I have a good kicker on my football team. All right, we already did kind of over-under. Let's move on to the Bengals. Bengals. They beefed up their offensive line, which is their big issue. Aaron Donald caused them all sorts of problems in the Super Bowl, but he is the best player.
I think the Bengals will be the most disappointing team in the NFL.
I agree as well. I do not think that they will be good. Well, they'll be good, but they will not.
They'll be good.
Reach the heights.
They're not going to the Super Bowl again.
No, for sure.
I think their Super Bowl was a shot in the dark.
My biggest thing that I want to talk about is I don't think it's talked about enough. Joe Burrow and his playoff run, I said that in air quotes to all of our listeners, was completely overrated. Their run to the Super Bowl was not based off of Joe Burrow being amazing, but everyone gives him that hype because he's quarterback, best college football team of all time, all that stuff. Their defense stepped up in every single game. They were losing in every single one of their games, and their defense gave up 0 points in the second half in all of those games.
I agree with you.
I think possibly they gave up. I think they gave up 3 points to the Chiefs in the second half.
Is Joe Burrow a product of his talent, or is he a product of a situation he finds himself in?
I think Joe Burrow is a fantastic quarterback. I think that also, college, he had the best squad that anyone has seen
Exactly.
in a long time. I think that, though, if you look at his first 2 years, though, now in the NFL, he has been good with a terrible offensive line.
Oh, for sure.
But he's had decent wide receivers the whole time, which definitely helps.
I'm not saying he's not talented. I'm just saying he does find himself in good situations at that time.
I think the Bengals regress and they do not win a playoff game this year.
I agree with that take.
I'll go. I'll roll with that.
On that, though, their over-under is 9.5. I still have them hitting the over. I still have them winning 10 games.
Yeah,
I'll take the under on that one.
All right. I'll take over.
I love betting unders.
The question is, though, Blake, when do they play the Cleveland Browns, our next football team we're going to talk about? They had the worst offseason in NFL history. They were in the news every single day.
They browned it.
While we're on the topic of it, I wrote it. I don't know why I wrote it with the Browns and not. Oh, no, with the Browns. He's on the Browns now. Duh, that's why. Deshaun Watson has the greatest agent of all time, yes?
Facts.
Yeah.
He hasn't played football in 2 years, and he got, 230 guaranteed?
And most importantly, only $1 million is guaranteed this year, so he loses less than $1 million.
Best agent of all time. Also, the Browns are spitting in the face of the NFL, yes?
Agreed.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised. This is like hot take number 7 for me, that the Browns get screwed over by the refs in almost every game this year. I think the shield is coming for the Cleveland Browns.
They're gonna get Tim Donaghy out there.
Austin's out here calling that it's scripted, everyone. It's scripted.
Oh, it is. The NFL is scripted. All the sports are scripted.
Well, just because of that comment, even if we do get famous from this, we're never getting invited to a Super Bowl party.
The fact that Deshaun Watson's first game is against the Houston Texans in Houston is scripted as hell. Like, it is 100% just like.
And Baker's first game is against Cleveland. That's fantastic.
That is random happenstance. The schedule was already locked in. And then he got traded to them. But
he just conveniently got traded.
Now, hey, I will say this. I do not.
The 11-game suspension, though, that's an odd number.
Yeah, it's an interesting number, especially when Josh Gordon's been suspended multiple years for weed, and Calvin gets suspended for putting a freaking parlay on the team while he's injured.
My dude Ray Rice never got to see the football field again, and he just punched his wife.
To be fair, Ray Rice should not have seen the football field again. But
to be fair, Ray Rice's was on video.
It was on video.
Hunt, he dragged it. He kicked a bitch. He kicked a lady.
Well, we've been demonetized now.
If you watch the Kareem Hunt video, it's not nearly as brutal as the Ray Rice, and she hit him first. I'm not condoning that.
26 sexual misconduct accusations is probably just as bad as hitting one person.
I think Kareem Hunt's suspension was warranted. I think Ray Rice's was warranted. I think Deshaun Watson is lucky that the grand juries in Texas did not decide to indict him.
All right. After 3 of them, I was like, okay.
The Browns.
Where are the Browns at?
8.5.
Under.
You got to trust Jacoby Brissett.
No, I'm under. I'm under all day.
I'm taking the under.
Not terrible, and their team is still pretty good, but I still have.
Jacoby's serviceable. That's for sure. He's definitely serviceable.
I'm taking the under.
Deshaun,
I think it's gonna
play 5 games, correct? Because he plays week 13. It's their 12th game, but it's week 13, so he's only in 5 games. I'm taking the under.
I think that no one, you said this earlier, Austin, I think no one is taking into account the fact that he hadn't played football in 2 years.
He hasn't played football in 2 years. There's also the possibility that someone just takes his kneecaps out for the shield, so you never know what's going to happen on his first snap.
He'll play 6 games.
No, he starts week 13.
It's a week 11. It's 11 game suspension. If
Yeah,
it's
it's
17
11.
games.
It's 11 games, but they have a bye week in
But
there.
their bye,
Maybe it's
yeah,
week
their bye
12.
falls in.
Maybe it's week 12. So
They
maybe
still
it's
play
two
17
overages.
games though.
Yeah, but like Austin said, what
Yeah,
do you think?
it's
Mike
week.
Tomlin
It's
ain't gonna
11 games. It's week 12. Sorry, I got the math wrong.
Yeah, so that I mean, still, I mean, I would take the
Yeah.
under, but
And if
I-
and if they're
Mike Tomlin
like
might
2
step
and
in
8
there.
or something like that,
take
they
him out.
might. If they're like sucking, they might just shut Watson down. To
Yeah,
keep him
sit him
safe.
down.
and he still hadn't played a game in 2 years.
Yeah. Plus, I
sit
mean,
him.
Davis Mills is going to kick his butt in
Agreed,
Houston,
Dougie.
for sure.
Dougie.
I did yesterday take Deshaun Watson with my last pick, though, just
I
for
mean,
playoff purposes.
That's something you would do.
Deshaun Watson, in my humble opinion, was in his when he last played was a better quarterback than Patrick Mahomes. He just played on a worse football team. You put Deshaun Watson with Andy Reid and that offense back in the day, Deshaun Watson would have tore the NFL apart.
And he made the playoffs a couple times, one playoff games.
He made the playoffs. Now he did lose a 24-3 lead against Patrick Mahomes. I was there. It was glorious, but
Yeah, I'm a
that was special
disagree with
teams,
Austin on that
and
one.
Bill O'Brien being a moron. All right, let's move on to the Steelers.
Under.
The Steelers.
Kenny Pickett is the truth.
Can he do it? That's the question.
Here's what's
You
going to
start-
happen. Mitch Trubisky.
You start Kenny.
You start Trubisky. You let the offensive line get it situated. And then you bring Kenny Pickett in. Week
I think
4 or
Kenny
5.
Pickett
Okay.
starts week 3 or 4.
I was going
I
to say
agree.
4 or 5. So
Well, so here's the deal. You've got Cincy, New England, Cleveland. So you got Mitch starting those 3. Then you got New York, the Jets.
what a
then you
game to
got
start.
But then you got
That's a
Buffalo
great
and
game.
Tampa Bay after that. So do you put him in against the Jets and then let him lose against Buffalo and Tampa Bay?
Yeah, I mean, you got to get used to some good teams too. I mean, you can't just play bad teams. Here's the thing, and this is the only reason why I put the Steelers in as over 7.5. Mike Tomlin has never
he's
had a losing season, ever. He has never
He's
had
so
a losing
good.
season.
He's so good.
He is such
Even
a
with
good coach.
Ben Roethlisberger being bum.
With Ben Roethlisberger not
With Ben-
having a right arm, he still had a winning season last year.
Yeah,
Big
I
Ben
trust Mike
quit.
Tomlin.
When Big Ben quit chopping the old meat and he still won football games, that's impressive. I mean, you got it. I mean,
If
And I mean, the Steelers still have a great defense. I think they're going to struggle in their division, but I think that they will survive and they will have. I actually think that Mike Tomlin has his first losing season and they go 8-9, but they still hit.
whoa.
no, I like this team. I
I
like
trust
this
Mike
team.
Tomlin.
I like Mike Tomlin. I like Pickens. I
You
don't even-
love Najee Harris.
George is a dog.
Yeah,
I took
George
George
is-
Pickens.
think
I took
this
George
team
Pickens with
is-
my 4th pick in my draft just because Pat McAfee.
4th pick.
That was terrible.
All right,
You
you're
don't have a
ashamed of
quarterback.
not winning a fantasy game this
You
year.
don't
but
have a quarterback.
I took him in the
Um,
6th round, Shane. 6th.
Also, yeah, we got Chase Claypool claiming he's a top 3 wide receiver. That's a bold
He needs
choice
to.
by
Well, he needs to
Mapleton.
stay off TikTok, and maybe you can do something.
No,
Same with my
wait.
boy
Okay,
Juju.
first off, I like the confidence. Hey, what are you gonna say? I'm like top 50. Like, nah, screw that. At least put
No,
yourself
but you
up.
don't have to say you're top 3. I mean,
He drops too many
Devontae-
balls.
Devontae, Cooper Kupp, Tyreek, Mike Evans. There's 4 right there. You're not better than any of them. There you go.
Yeah,
Dude,
or even close.
all I would have to,
Or
all I
even
would
close.
say is go prove it. Just go prove it. That's all
Yeah.
you need to
All
do.
right.
I would
drops a lot of
say,
balls.
I would say, do your talking on the field. Don't say it in the preseason when words are
Yeah.
meaningless and you look like an idiot at the end of the year. All right, let's move on. We're down to our last 2 divisions. We're to the 2 best divisions in sports, in my opinion. The NFC West
Yeah.
and the AFC West. We're starting in the NFC.
Let's ride.
With no, that's the AFC West.
Oh,
But with our
that's
boy,
the
Cliff
the old
Kingsbury.
NFC West.
Cliff Kingsbury and the Arizona freaking Cardinals. Biggest 2
Under,
points
heavy
of the
under.
offseason. Biggest 2 points in the offseason is Kyler's contract
And Hopkins.
with Hopkins suspension. Kyler's contract caused so much problems there, so many problems there for a week. With
My
the
guy
freaking
doesn't even watch film.
Just watch film,
the
baby.
film, and the
Doesn't watch
video
film.
games, and Hopkins being suspended. Is it 6 games? That's a big deal.
6, yeah, 6.
That's a big deal. Like he's a
But-
part of that offense.
He's got his boy from Oklahoma, Marquise Hollywood Brown.
Yeah,
Wa-
but
Was this highlighted in college that he didn't watch film or anything? I don't remember it.
You don't have to watch film in college. That's the
Well,
whole
you
thing.
don't, but you should. Like, I mean, you should.
You're reading a single in college. You're reading a single guy.
One read. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
one read and throw the ball. One read,
Yeah.
throw the ball.
I mean, yeah,
Blake,
his
you were with
offense in
us.
college was the read option pass with he's just reading if the safety takes a step down and then he's throwing it 80 yards. That was their play every time in college.
My
Yeah.
dude is
Or-
no taller than
Yeah.
about
What?
5'8".
Blake, you and I saw him at the UNC game, right? You were
I've
there.
seen him. Yeah, I've seen him.
The dude is
He's-
tiny.
He's
Yeah,
no
he's
bigger
tiny.
than 5'8".
It's baffling.
They also opened so here's the thing. Hopkins is out 6 games, their first 6 games. At home against the Chiefs, away at the Raiders, home against the Rams, away at Carolina, home against the Eagles, and then at Seattle.
I
think
also
at
think
best, they're 2-4.
Yeah, that's
The
a
end of-
rough first 6 games.
the end of their season last year was more what they're more acclimated for. The beginning was an aberration.
Well, no, that's a very common thing with the Arizona Cardinals. They start good and they fade. And I don't
think Cliff Kingsbury's a good coach.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna start
I
well.
I don't.
I know that Cliff Kingsbury was an A&M lad, but I do not think
I don't think he's a great coach.
No,
somehow
the
got
Cardinals.
fired from Texas Tech and got an NFL job.
Yeah,
Baffling.
the Cardinals hired him because they saw a good-looking young coach and thought, oh, he's our Sean McVay. That's
No,
exactly what happened.
he ran the air raid offense and they were getting Kyler. That's why they hired him.
It's
He's gonna pass
I
on every
like-
play.
Cliff as a coach.
Oh, Jonathan.
I don't like Cliff.
I like him
I
as
could
a
have told
coach.
you that was
He's an-
coming.
He's an offensive guy. It doesn't make sense for him to be in the college game, but it makes
Why?
sense
The
for him
college
to be in
game
the
is
NFL.
all offense.
That is
That's the exact
No,
opposite.
no.
There's no
Because he
defense in
never
college.
hired any good defensive coordinator.
He was in the best conference that he could have been in.
Yeah, true.
The Big
No
12 is
defense
only
in the
on one.
league.
Yeah,
No,
and
He has
in the
Patrick
league.
Mahomes.
He had
He has
Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes.
No,
Mahomes
for
was
sure.
throwing for
For
600
sure.
yards a
And what did they
game,
win?
were
They won
losing.
8 games?
I
won 8 games?
like him. I like him.
No.
Right.
First off, Tech fires people way too like Tech's never gonna be a national power. It's never gonna happen.
Texas Tech.
I mean, Tech was a national. Well, I mean, not a national power, but I mean,
Mike Leach?
they screwed Texas out of a
Michael
national
Crabtree?
championship game. Mike Crabtree.
Graham
boy
Harrell?
Blake Gideon
Freaking our
My
boy
boy
Blake
Graham
Gideon
Harrell
from
threw the
Leander High
arms,
School
baby.
couldn't catch a football.
through the arms.
I love
Graham
Michael.
Harrell?
Do y'all hear my bug zapper just going to effing town in the background? It
No,
is
but
just
thank you for
hitting it.
bringing it up, bud. All right, hey, let's talk about the Cardinals over under. It's a very low 8.5. I thought that's a bold choice from FanDuel Sportsbook.
I'm up.
That's a
8.5.
tough one.
I'm gonna take the under. I think Blake and Austin have convinced me so far that they're gonna suck.
Well, Austin convinced
I
me
don't
that, but
know.
Austin is still
I don't know if they're
over
going to
8.5.
suck. I don't know if they're going to
Taking the over.
suck, but they'll
Well,
get
I
to
mean,
the
they're not-
playoffs and lose in the first round.
They're not
You know
gonna
what I
be the
didn't think about?
Saints, but
They lost Chandler Jones. I didn't think about that. They lost Chandler Jones on the other side of J.J. Watt. That's a big part of their defense gone. Who
He's
went
a
to
Raider.
the Raiders.
The
So that'd be interesting.
Raiders.
Hey, just to keep like consistent, I'm taking the under.
All right, I'm on the over with the
Have
Cardinals.
you
Let's move
taken it
on.
over?
Yeah, at least 2. I've taken 2 overs, I think.
I probably am the one that hasn't taken many overs.
All right, Blake, if you only bet
All right,
unders, don't
uh,
bet futures.
For just so I can go back and watch this next year, over under Blake takes more than 2 overs next year.
All
In
right.
Well, it depends what the line is. It depends what the line is.
Let's talk about the Super Bowl champion Los Angeles Rams. Now, currently, we got Matt Stafford possibly having an elbow issue. And also, I wrote down, surely Cooper Cup cannot have the same season he did last year.
Oh
right?
yeah, he will.
Surely.
He's going to.
You cannot lead
He's-
the league in
Absolutely.
The Triple
four
Crown.
categories.
Bro, look. So now the situation is you can't double him because now you have Allen Robinson on the other side of the ball. Like the
I
dude,
think that was the greatest pickup in the offseason was Allen Robinson to the Rams.
it's
brilliant.
insane. How do you play that team? How do you stop
Here's
them?
their problem. They have a gauntlet of a regular season. Their
Yeah, they do.
schedule-
Yeah.
I thought the Chiefs had a rough schedule, and then I looked at the Rams. Their schedule is ridiculous.
I like Cam Akers coming back too, though.
Yeah, I think that they will be a great team in the regular season. I think they will obviously make the playoffs. I think they will win their division. The problem is, I think that the regular season is going to take so much out of them, they will not repeat as Super Bowl champions. Also,
That may be true.
go ahead, Blake.
Nah, that may be true, but their division is not great either.
The Niners are pretty freaking good. The Cardinals have
But
shown.
You have to trust Trey Lance. The Cardinals
see
are
something.
okay.
Jimmy G, after Jimmy G's contract extension today, Jimmy G is going to be playing week 4 after Trey Lance is terrible.
I agree. That made me think Trey Lance isn't that great.
Wait, what happened today?
Jimmy
They
G
signed
signed
Jimmy
a
G.
contract extension.
What?
He has a no trade clause. I mean, he's got it all. I mean, Jimmy G.
It's a
I-
one-year
Oh,
deal.
so
It's a
they-
one-year deal.
So they don't. So what? They don't trust Trey Lance. Is what?
That's
you're
what
saying.
that's what it made me think. But also, they only signed him to a one-year deal. So
I mean, I don't care. Jimmy G.
Definitely need to go get a new quarterback because Trey
Jimmy
Lance
G.
ain't gonna be my fantasy QB.
Jimmy G.
I don't trust Trey Lance. I don't trust Trey Lance one bit.
All right. No matter
I
what,
don't
I'll
either.
trust the 49ers defense to win them football games. Their team is.
I can see
stacked.
that.
Also,
I
Kyle Shanahan is an excellent football coach. It pains me to say that because I hate his father with a passion, but he is such a good football coach.
But and also
Regardless-
the 49ers have proven they can just run the ball down your throat. They will just run it down your throat.
regardless, I think the Rams division is not great, and they will hit the over.
All right.
Yeah.
But
On
We'll
that, the Rams, okay, the Rams kept everyone except for they lost Von Miller. They replaced OBJ with Allen Robinson. Can they?
Which is an
repeat
upgrade.
It's
Yeah.
an upgrade, but they lost Von Miller, who's a big piece.
I like Von Miller, but he's getting old.
Repeating Super Bowl champions has only happened 8 times. Will the Los Angeles
I don't
Rams
think
be
they
the
will
ninth?
repeat as. I don't think
I
they'll
do
win
not-
the Super Bowl, but
I do not think they will win the Super Bowl either.
they will win
think
their
that-
division and they
I-
will win 11 games.
I think they win 11 games and they win their division, but they lose in the second round of the playoffs.
I'm on that as well. Over, they win their division, but they lose to somebody. I mean, the playoffs, unfortunately in football, you have a bad
it's a
you have bad
crapshoot.
day at the office and you're in trouble.
Yeah, it's a crapshoot.
All right, hey, we just talked about the 49ers a lot. We also just mentioned, is Trey Lance a mistake? Starting
Under
they
9.5 is huge.
They named him starting quarterback. Like they have already named him the starter, Trey Lance. I think
Do you
that's
think
a
that's-
huge mistake.
Do you think that's partly because the relationship between them and Jimmy G was already fractured?
I think so. I think also just people. I don't know why people hate Jimmy G as much as they do. I kind of
Yeah, he's a good quarterback. He gets
He went to the
injured
Super
very
Bowl. He went to
He
the
went to
Super
the
Bowl.
Super Bowl. He dates porn stars. Like
He's
he's
the
a
perfect
NFL
quarterback for Shanahan's style.
I mean, Shanahan wishes he was with porn stars, so I mean, it works out perfectly.
There we
The two
go.
of them.
And
Security Diva-
Shanahan says it's a win-win that Jimmy G's coming back, which tells me, like y'all said earlier, he's going to start at some point this season.
I will say,
For sure.
did Debo sign a 1-year deal?
Debo
Yeah,
extended. I don't remember the year. But
thought it was
Debo
1
being
year.
extended, no matter what.
it's
that's
not a
huge.
1-year deal, but it's super front-loaded
I
to
think
where it is a
Debo-
1 year.
I think Debo has a disappointing year.
I think
But do you
had a
think he
down
also
year
doesn't-
from last year? But it's not.
Do you think he doesn't trust Trey Lance? Do you think that's why he was skeptical to come back?
I don't trust Trey Lance, but I
Debo
also
signed
think he.
Sorry, Debo
What was
signed a
it?
3-year deal for $73.5 million through 2025.
Well, what's the
Okay.
front? What's the back?
It was
end
all
of it?
cash. It was all cash. None of it was
Yeah.
salaried.
No matter what, though, his contract is through 2025, and
So he
I
actually
mean,
got paid pretty well.
they could tag him if they want to, unless he has a no tag clause. Which that's another thing. Jimmy G has a no trade clause and a no tag clause in his contract.
Yeah, I saw that. So that
he has the Niners by the short hairs a little bit, but
I think that was them being like, we didn't have a trade partner, so we're gonna sign you for 1 year and be the backup, and then you'll be gone after a year.
yeah, I bet he starts at least 4 games though. Because I don't trust Trey Lance. I don't think he's that good.
I don't either. I don't think he's that great.
I
We'll
think
see.
they were crazy to move up and get him.
9.5 is a humongous number.
I still have the 49ers over because their
Over.
team is so good. Their O-line is
man.
incredible. Their backfield is incredible. They will. Shanahan is a great coach, and their defense is good. I think that they will win 9.5 games. I think
That is a huge
They'll
number.
a bunch of those wins from the Seahawks
over.
and some of the other crappy teams.
I will take
Can
the
they
under
go-
on that one.
I'm gonna take the under also, and then I'm gonna also take the under on the Seahawks.
Thanks.
Hey,
All right,
jumping
let's
ahead.
try ahead. The Seattle Seahawks.
I'm looking at schedules over here, and I'm like, nah, the Seahawks suck.
I
Ain't
wrote
none of
down
us
2
to
things
talk about.
for the Seattle Seahawks. Question number 1: what the hell is going on with the Seattle Seahawks?
They
I think
suck.
Pete Carroll could run out there and be a better quarterback than Drew Lock. So
Just how I know that you can't trade for Jimmy G because the 49ers won't trade you for Jimmy G. How do you not even offer for Baker?
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
I thought for
that's-
sure
that's-
Seattle was going to go after Baker.
Like,
I
Drew
wish-
Lock is
I wish the
bad.
Saints got him.
I get
Gino-
if the Panthers beat you and like offered more, but how do you not offer anything for Baker
Yeah.
with your 2 quarterbacks?
Gino has been a quarterback for how many years? 10 years
7,
almost?
7,
Yeah.
8.
So are they going for
I mean-
Bryce Young or CJ Stroud?
CJ.
See,
TJ.
I like Bryce Young, though. I'm not going to lie.
I'm just saying.
No, but I think
this is the Seahawks tank year. They're tanking.
All right.
I
Yeah,
think
agreed.
Pete Carroll. I think Pete Carroll likes CJ style play more than Bryce Young for some reason.
I think
I can't give any stats on that as to why I think that, but I look at Pete Carroll and I say he's a CJ Stroud guy.
I'll take
Yeah,
any
I mean,
quarterback
right.
over an Ohio State quarterback because Ohio State quarterbacks do not do
I will
well in the
too.
NFL.
I like
The Big Ten
Bryce Young.
sucks.
Dude,
Agreed.
this is the easiest thing he could do right here. Bring Gardner Minshew to Seattle. The boy played up there, man.
Hey,
Let him
That would be
play.
an upgrade.
Let
That
him
would be an
play.
upgrade.
Sure.
You tell
That would be
me
an
that
upgrade.
Gardner Minshew doesn't fit the Seattle vibe. My
No,
dude's
hey,
doing yoga in the freaking jock strap before games. Let him come play in Seattle.
we're tanking. The Seattle Seahawks
Yeah,
are
Seattle's
tanking.
bad.
Yeah, and Gardner Minshew's the key to winning. Start winning some football games. It'd be
No,
great.
if you're gonna win 6 football games, there's 0 point in winning 6 football games. You might as well win 0.
Bro, you
Pete
got
Carroll
fame.
may have another health episode. He may have another health episode.
All right, I'm on the under with the Seahawks. We already
Under. Give me the under. I like the under on that one.
I'll
I think
take
that they have the number 1 or number 2 draft pick at the end of the year.
Probably
All right.
number 1.
The best division in football.
Yeah, I would say so. This is the
Yes,
best
sir.
Besides the
Yes,
besides the
sir.
Raiders, dude, the Raiders fucking suck.
No. The Raiders are gonna be good this year. Oh,
Fucking
good.
good,
They're gonna be
baby.
good enough.
Just win, baby.
Did y'all know that with the 17, with that the way that they do everything, it is possible all 4 of these teams make the playoffs?
That
It's
would be
possible.
fantastic.
Which is ridiculous to me, but whatever. All right,
That's like the SEC don't have 3 teams in the playoffs this year. It's gonna be great.
let's start off with
Oh,
Broncos country. Let's ride.
Let's ride.
That's
All
right.
Right, boys.
Russell Wilson, obviously an improvement at the quarterback position. They lost Patrick or whatever his name is for the year, wide receiver, which is a big blow. I think that they're stacked in every position except for wide receiver, to be honest. They've got decent running backs with Philip Lindsay and
I thought
Whatever
Philip
that
Lindsay
other
was
guy.
gone.
I don't know. She knows. They have a
Portland
decent running back
Sutton.
and offensive line. Cortland Sutton's all right. Come on, let's not.
Dude,
blow
he's
smoke
gonna
up
have
someone's
a
butt.
career year.
I mean, career
Russell-
year from after being terrible. It's not great.
I'm not a Russell Wilson believer. My guy literally is the weirdest human to ever exist on the planet.
Hey,
Yeah.
Just
He
because
has no
hey, just
he has
because
no
loves
ability to be
Jesus,
normal.
because he loves Jesus.
No,
you know, I'm gonna
it's
throw him
not
under the
even
bus.
that. He is a weird human being. He just has
What?
no ability to be normal.
Hey,
He
anyone
loves
that shows up to
Jesus.
training camp in their jersey with that truck, you're winning 17 games, baby.
No,
He's a weird
Not even close.
dude.
That is-
My problem with him when people say like, oh, like give it 120%, he actually believes he can give 120%.
Yes.
yeah.
And the rest of us humans are going, you're an absolute
you know
buffoon.
what
he is-
You
could
are a
do?
buffoon.
You know what
He's
he
a
could
buffoon.
do? He could teach Pat Mahomes to go ahead and drop his high school girlfriend for someone that's not fucking crazy.
Well, I mean, that's a whole different story.
Hey, we'll get to Mahomes when we get to Mahomes.
I can't wait to talk about his crazy wife and brother. It's gonna be
Russell
fantastic.
Wilson, I will say, could be the most annoying player in the NFL. Like,
Yeah,
it's
he's a-
possible.
Just on that
Absolutely.
alone, I don't want to pick him over. I'm picking the under on that one just because of Russell
And
Wilson.
I do like Denver's
Right.
defense on paper, but their players that they have on defense get injured every year. So it's just so hard to trust them. But if their defense stays healthy, Denver is the team to watch out and is the dark horse to win the AFC West. They're not going to win the AFC West, but that's okay.
No, they're not.
I
hate to
can't
s-
have
I
it either because my coworker, who I have been like very nice to him, he's a big Denver guy. He grew up in Wyoming. Never have spoken trash to him for the past 6 years as the Chiefs have dominated the division. Have not said a single word. But now that he thinks they're going to be good, he's just talking smack all day. So I hope Denver
Oh.
freaking sucks over all of the other teams in the division because I can't take it. Like, we won a Super Bowl, and I said nothing.
Austin,
We made it to
what-
back-to-back Super Bowls. I said we've hosted 4 AFC championships in a row. I said nothing.
what did you learn from this?
Nothing.
You talk
That-
shit every year. You always are high on your team, bro. The
No,
Raiders
he's
are
not.
winning the freaking Super Bowl, baby.
The Raiders will not win the Super Bowl. All right,
We're
let's
winning the
move
Super
on.
Bowl. Derek Carr,
Guys,
MVP, right now,
Hold
calling
on,
it.
here we go. Broncos are at 9.5. All of the AFC West has a tough schedule. It's something to take in. They're
Ah.
gonna beat up on each other, surely, right? So I think
Give
they're
me
the
another
hardest to
under.
pick.
Give me another under.
You're crazy.
Under.
This goes against everything I said because of the jersey and the pickup. But because he wore that jersey and he drove in that pickup, give me the under.
Under. You just said they're going
What?
17-0.
Yeah, I know. That's what I said. Yeah, it goes against everything I just said. But I was hyped about the truck because I was on ESPN and I saw the truck in the background. It looked cool as hell. And then reality hits me and I go, looks like a buffoon, and I can't
Dang.
trust that.
How about the
After you
Broncos
said
over?
17-0, I put $100 on it. What am I
Well,
supposed
it's
to
too
do now?
late. I'm telling you. I saw the truck on ESPN's website and I said, God, that dude's a baller. And then I was like, no, he's a buffoon.
He's a
All right.
buffoon.
I'm on the over on the Broncos. I don't think they win the division,
Oh.
but I think they win 10,
Ooh.
at least. All right,
What?
let's move on to the best team that has ever existed, the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm here wearing my Derek Thomas jersey. I'm ready for football season. Life's good.
Last
Biggest
time I
question.
wore that jersey, someone was in a bathtub puking. So
Nope, different jersey. So don't worry about it. Biggest question: how big of a
they
problem?
cut
is-
Josh Gordon.
How big
Yeah,
of a
they come
problem
today.
is Tyreek being gone?
Big
problem.
problems.
A big freaking problem.
Big
Big
problems. I
problem.
will say, every single drive that Mahomes played in the preseason was a touchdown. So I mean, the preseason means it's going to equate.
I
to
mean,
the regular
Mahomes.
season, right?
Mahomes will do what he wants to do. But that's a big problem.
If
I
Mahomes
do-
does not fix his footwork, Mahomes will suck.
How's the O line? How's the O line?
It should be fine.
They got
I like
exposed.
Sky. I like Sky.
So our O line was injured to all get out. We had 3 of our 5
So-
starters were gone. So they're all
Are they
healthy
bringing them
now.
back?
Yeah,
Okay.
they're all back. Orlando Brown is being a little bit of a punk, playing on the franchise tag. He wants so much money. Orlando Brown is asking like
Yeah,
ridiculous amount for left tackle money. It's crazy. Or right tackle. I don't even know what position he's playing. He's playing left out. He's asking for so much money, it's ridiculous. I think.
Austin, what does your father think about the Chiefs season this year?
Oh, I mean, my dad and I are very similar when it comes to this. We are pessimistically optimistic. That's how we look at things. We see all the negatives, but also we know we're a good football team. Like we're not going to be like 4-13 or anything like that, but we've got it. I mean, we have the second hardest strength of schedule in football. I think. I mean, we play right off the bat. We start with the Cardinals, which can be a good football team, especially early on. We play the Chargers week 2, which the Chargers should be a good football team. We'll talk about that in a second. The Colts we talked about being a possible playoff team. That's on the road. Also, 3 of our first 4 games are on the road. We got to play at the Bucks again. Then we play the Raiders, and then we play the Bills. Like out of that, we have 6 potential playoff teams right off the bat, and 3 of them are on the road. Then the Niners on the road, another possible playoff team. The Titans, playoff team. Like our strength of schedule sucks.
Your first 8 games sucks.
Our first 8 games, our gimme game is the Jaguars. We play the Chargers twice. Then we play the Rams and the Bengals in back-to-back weeks.
This schedule's terrible.
Our schedule is like one of the worst in like NFL history, and it's going to be brutal.
Yeah.
That being
Who
said,
gave them this schedule? Roger Goodell should be absolutely.
Well, when you keep having multiple like 12 and 13 win seasons in a row, your strength of schedule automatically gets more difficult. That being said, this is Mahomes' legacy season. That's my thing. If he wants to be crowned the next big thing, this has to be it. If it's not, he's going to get screwed. Like the media is not going to be on him. He had a down year last year. His numbers were not great.
I think he has proven he is the next big thing. I think him and Josh Allen are
he was the next big thing. He's not the big. I mean, I could easily see at this point in all of their careers, Herbert could pass him, Allen could pass him, Burrow could pass him easily.
No, I like those 4 young guys, but none of them have done or will do what Patrick Mahomes has done in the time frame that he has done.
I think Mahomes will go down as the best. I think Mahomes will go down as the best start to a career in NFL history.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
First year in the league, 50 touchdowns. Second year in the league, Super Bowl MVP and Super Bowl win. I mean, and third year in the league makes the Super Bowl and lose to Tom Brady. I mean,
Joe Burrow is the only person right now that could give him a run.
No, he didn't have
nearly he made the Super Bowl in his second year.
Mahomes won the Super Bowl in his second year and his first year threw 50 touchdowns. Burrow has nothing in either of those two
I understand that. But he could go out there and
it's the Chiefs. Johnny's talking about the Chiefs. We all know that he's going to be negative as hell.
No.
I was high.
This is a good conversation. It's not negative.
It's a negative Nancy.
No.
No, I just know Jonathan. Austin, my real question is yes, I'm going to the over and under right now, but do you see the Chiefs winning over 10.5 games? Because I'm sitting here looking at their schedule and I'm sitting here. I've looked at it probably 6 times in the past 15 seconds, and I'm going, I don't know. That is rough.
Brutal. 10-7. I think they make the playoffs, but they're a wild card team.
I think they make the playoffs. They're gonna be fine, but I'm taking the under.
Yeah, I'm taking
this is a rough schedule.
Shocking. I'm taking the under.
I think the AFC West is going to beat the crap out of each other this year.
I agree.
All right. While we're on the Chiefs, though, because I love them so much, I had a couple points to bring up. Do Juju and Jackson Mahomes cancel each other out and they avoid the apocalypse? Do they cancel each other out, or do the two of them on the same football team bring the apocalypse of the earth?
I think they bring the apocalypse.
The earth may spontaneously combust.
If you want to throw in Brittany on that as well, like
Brittany is. I mean, she's the earth is already spontaneously combusted.
Hey,
Brittany.
Here's my thought. Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson need to sit Pat down and say, "Hey, family and high school girlfriends are not that important. Drop them like a bad habit. Get out of there Aaron Rodgers hasn't talked to his brother in years, his mom in years, his dad in years. Drop them all, man. It's over. You're the most popular person in your family. Your family shouldn't even be around at this point. You're carrying dead weight. You could have
That's
had
a
the
terrible
Hunt
example
daughter.
because
You could have had
everyone
Gracie
hates
Hunt.
Aaron Rodgers.
He could have had Gracie Hunt. Instead, he stuck with freaking Crazy Matthews chick.
I will say Brittany got a little bit of a bad rap for the champagne thing last year. As a person who has been in that stadium multiple times, they loved it and they were psyched for
Dude,
it. Like they were all
I
having a great time.
understand that,
They're having
but
a great time.
she's freaking nuts.
No. She is not my favorite person. She needs her and Kelly Stafford need to do a little bit less talking on the social medias, in my opinion. But she's not as bad as the media. She's a villain that the media loves to point out. Jackson Mahomes is much more of a menace than Brittany is.
Oh,
He
absolutely.
did dance on the grave. He danced on the
dancing
grave.
on the grave of
my
Sean
guy.
Taylor or not
Sean Taylor.
Yeah, Sean
Sean
Taylor.
Taylor.
Sean Taylor
that
is
is
great.
like imprison him forever, please.
Okay.
That's,
And
I
it was
agree.
blocked off at that
Yeah.
point. It was blocked off.
It was
But my guy had a chance to become a son-in-law at the Hunt family. Like, you could have been a billionaire, bro. Like,
yeah,
right
well,
off
I'm not saying that Mahomes hasn't made some mistakes with his dating / marriage, but I'm saying Brittany gets a little bit of a bad rap. She's not great.
Also,
but she's not.
If I was at a football game and some person that was worth a $500 million at least poured champagne on me, I would be so pissed. It's unbelievable.
No.
I would throw a beer bottle at her.
Guys,
Oh, I would revolt.
no, y'all don't understand the people. That game, after that game happens, and like they were all looking at her and they were talking to her or whatever, and she was yelling down like we're gonna do it, and they were all freaking excited. It would be so fun. It would be so fun.
If I was sitting down there, I would have been so mad.
Nah, bro.
I would be asking, you're not gonna pour anything expensive, right? Like use the cheap stuff. Like, come on now. We're not
Nah,
gonna
just
waste
pouring it
it.
on me. It better be expensive.
No,
I'm
it
just gonna
better be
waste as much money as
expensive if
possible.
you're shooting it on. Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah. I want that sucker to hurt your wallet a little bit.
I would be all over that.
I'd be so annoyed.
I would rather be.
I'd write a
and
mean
get
Twitter comment about him.
freaking ice water poured on me if it means that the Chiefs will win a game in the playoffs.
her and Jackson are shameful but good people.
All right.
What?
On that,
Good
though, let's talk some real football about the Chiefs. They added Carlos Dunlap to their defensive line. Karlaftis in the preseason has looked like a good pickup. My problem, they drafted 5 players for their secondary because that's how bad the secondary was. So we got a bunch of rooks playing in the AFC. That's going to be their downfall. But I think they're starting to build for the future. We'll see what happens. Also, Travis Kelce. I don't play fantasy football. Where do y'all draft Travis Kelce? It's got to be super high.
Yeah, he's up there.
Yeah.
A good tight end is valuable. Is a valuable player.
He's
going
he's not a
second
good tight
round.
end. He's a high quality receiver at this point. Like
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. So him, Darren Waller. I mean, those dudes are big time.
He's
think
going
actually-
second round.
I think actually
I took Darren
in the last
Waller
5
because
years,
Travis
I think
Kelce was
leads
gone.
the league in receptions and yards. Like dude's a stud. Maybe
Yeah.
he might be behind Devontae Adams. Dude's a beast. I love Travis Kelce. We'll see if his numbers go down without Tyreek this year. Real quick, I already said I got the Chiefs 10-7, so I got the under. What's everybody else got?
I got the
They're
under.
at 10.5.
I'll take the 10-7. I like that.
I got the under.
I'll go under on them.
All right, well,
I think they're gonna have a down year. Although
right,
I
Johnny
don't
would
know.
say they would
I
go
like the
completely
draft.
defeated.
Let's talk about Jonathan's Raiders from Las Vegas.
Let's go.
The biggest question is Josh McDaniels, right? Like,
Yeah.
everyone
I like
hates him. Everyone hates him. The Raiders took a huge gamble by hiring them as a head coach.
Did you know the last time? Now this is a stupid stat, and you guys are gonna be like, oh my god, it doesn't matter. The last time the Raiders won all their preseason games,
Oh God.
we won the fucking Super Bowl. That's correct. That's
I mean, if
correct.
we go off
Let's
that
go.
logic, then the Baltimore Ravens should have won the Super Bowl for the last.
No. I'm just
13
saying
years.
the last time we did it.
Okay, that's a dumb
Just-
stat. Let's move on.
Just out of
Yeah.
respect for Rich Bisaccia, the Raiders are gonna suck.
Yep.
I mean,
I
I
think
will
so
say-
too.
No.
They did
Yeah.
Bisaccia dirty.
Bisaccia
They
did a
did
great job
Bisaccia
last year.
dirty.
They did
Football
really
Rick
dirty.
Bisaccia.
I
They did
understand
Versace
what
and
you're
dirty.
saying. I actually said we should hire it, but I like
McDaniels
how-
has been there, done that, and failed once, and now we're giving Versace the turn.
dude.
Versace was the man.
I think this is a good position for him to be in.
Versace?
No, right? Josh McDaniels.
I'll say they fired
Oh.
him. They fired him. That's
Yeah,
a good
no,
position.
McDaniels is a scumbag. We all know it. He could
Yeah,
be
he's a
good head
scumbag.
coach. He might be a bad head coach. We don't know. The
Well, we do
Raiders
know
have-
because he's been there before. He's a bad head coach.
The Raiders have a freaking amazing offseason, though. They pick up Devontae Adams. Oh, shoot. Who's the guy that they picked up to play defensive end opposite Max Crosby?
Chandler Jones.
Yeah, they pick up Chandler Jones from the Cardinals. Another great pass rusher. Their secondary is still garbage.
Yeah, the secondary is a problem.
No, the problem is, can Derek Carr be a guy?
Dude, I'm telling you right now, Derek Carr will be an MVP candidate this year.
Oh
I'm just
God.
saying, can Derek Carr be a
What's-
guy? Because he's had weapons.
What's the Raiders number at?
And they
I
haven't
think
been
we
a guy.
just recorded Shane peeing off his porch, so that's good.
Fine. This has been audio. thing
That's
that we're
great
recording, so
content right
thank you
there.
for
That's
bringing
What's-
great
that up.
what's-
content.
What's the Raiders number at?
8.5.
8.5?
Oh, the
Oh,
Raiders are one of my easy overs for the year.
Yeah, I thought
Easy
it would be
over.
10.5.
easy
but
over.
the
Hunter
Raiders are an
Renfro,
easy-
Darren Waller,
Raiders are an
Adams,
easy
we're
over,
gonna crush it this year.
but that doesn't mean that they're gonna be like doing great in the playoffs or anything. Like,
Josh
No,
Jacobs is on a contract year. The dude wants an extension. To
Josh
get that,
McDaniels
he's
ain't
gonna
gonna
have
run
to
the
have a great
football.
year.
Contract years are pretty good at getting injuries.
contract years also doesn't mean anything if your offensive coordinator / head coach doesn't give you the ball. That's my biggest problem. Is McDaniels is gonna try to be head coach and call plays. I hate that. I hate it.
I do too.
I hate that Andy Reid does it, and he's my head coach. I hate it. Head coach needs to be focusing on the entire football team, not just calling plays.
But I'm calling it right now. We're a problem. We're a problem for the league. We're a problem for the division. We're a problem all the way around.
You're a problem for the
Derek
division.
Carr
We're
is
all
gonna
gonna beat
be a
each other
problem.
up.
I will-
and
So
y'all
here's
get
the
your
deal.
butt kicked by the Buffalo Bills in the first round of the playoffs.
Yes, I will take the over on the Raiders, but they're going to get their butts kicked in the first round.
Yeah, I'm on that as well. So over under of 8.5. I'm on the over. That's an
Over.
easy over in my opinion.
Yeah, 8.5 is shockingly low.
8.5 is shocking low, and I checked that today as of like 6:30. It's August 30th. It's now like
That seems
10:30
very
p.m.
low.
We've been recording for a long time. Let's go. All right, we got one last team to go in the NFL. The Los Angeles Chargers, the team with the worst fans in the NFL. However,
If any fans.
they
They're
are
a problem.
going to win the AFC West. So here we
No.
go. Can
No.
their coach not screw them over with analytics? That's the question. Because if they didn't do the analytics BS last year, they would have won the AFC West in a landslide.
Did you really get me peeing off the patio?
Yeah. They bring
Yeah.
in Khalil Mack, which isn't what it used to be, but offset of Bosa is a really good
The-
pickup.
Only thing John Gruden never did correctly in his time in Oakland, his second stint.
But yeah, let's not talk too much praise about John Gruden, please. I think that
Blake's on
they're
the phone with his wife.
Okay.
His
Well, their
phone's
off
muted.
their off season was good. I think that their free agency was fine as well.
I was taking a pee.
Okay, that's fine. We don't remember. This is an audio podcast. We don't need to say those things out loud.
Yeah,
I muted it,
without
fellas.
saying anything,
Well,
fellas.
yeah,
I just walked away.
when you come in and say that you were taking a pee, we didn't need.
Well,
that
there was
part.
accusations thrown out anyways. So so the Chargers are built for TV, right? If
Yeah.
there's a 4th and 2
They're going
on
for
the
it.
opposite 48-yard line, they are going for that, and
They'll
that's
go
great
for
for
it on their
TV.
own 28-yard line. They want to do it
Yeah,
on fourth down on
which is-
every play.
which
against the
is
Chiefs.
great for
It's
TV.
infuriating.
Great for TV. Is that great for the win-loss record? Not necessarily. You also put Justin Herbert in some weird positions,
Yeah.
which are not great.
Yeah, I think there's two big things to talk about with the Chargers. We would have never had Justin Herbert if that doctor didn't try to kill Tyrod, which is ridiculous.
Agreed. They punctured his lung. It punctured his lung.
And
with a needle.
two, they just signed Derwin James, the biggest contract for a safety in NFL history. And the man has never played more than 8 games in a season. The man is always injured, and they're like, here's all the money. So I hope that screws them over because that was a terrible idea.
I
I
think
don't
I
even
said
think he's that
it.
good.
I think I said I had 2 hot takes. One is the Saints are going to suck. The second one is Chargers wild card team win the Super or go to the Super Bowl.
No.
Oh, wow.
Analytics will screw.
Analytics will be
full
their
believer
downfall.
Analytics will be their downfall. That being said,
I actually like analytics. I think analytics are important, but when you're going for it on 4th and 2 on your own 28, you're just giving up a touchdown.
I love me some I mean, you guys know I love me some stats. I got my spreadsheets. I got all these things. There's a difference, and you need to know situations. Statistics
Agreed.
do not mean that you can go for it on your own 28-yard line in the first quarter.
Agreed. You're giving up 3 points if you don't get 2 yards. You're giving up 3
The
points.
Chargers win the AFC West. They should.
What's their over under?
It's only 10, but they are the best team on paper in the AFC West. If they don't win the AFC West, they have had a failure of the season. Over under of 10. I have the over. I have them winning 12.
I have them. I think I have well, I don't know. I'm not gonna say who I think wins the West, but I have them as a wild card team, and I have them going to the Super Bowl.
Well, if you have them as a wild card team, you do not have them winning the West. So that's what that means.
Yeah, I got them with the under.
The Raiders win the West, but
The Raiders don't win the West, but that's fine.
yeah, absolutely they do. But I will take the over because I took the under on the other two, and I think the Raiders and the Chargers are just going to dominate. So
Both of those teams, I mean, every team is stacked. I would say the Chiefs are the least stacked team in that division,
facts.
but the Chiefs have a winning culture, so I think that's going to carry on for them. So I think that the AFC West is brutal.
Yeah, I do too. I think every team's going to be 10-7, 9-8.
I mean, it's
somewhere
totally
around
possible.
there.
People are going to talk like they're going to be like, oh shoot, like they're like the NFC East from years past, like they don't have a great win culture. But it's like, yeah, every single one of those teams, if you would put them as the winner, like they would also be great. All right, fantastic. Hey, look at that. That's 32 football teams. We talked about earlier, but we weren't recording ourselves. Week number 1 football lines have come out as of today. There are 10 home dogs. That's something to look at. I will be taking quite a few of those home dogs to cover the spread. Generally, I would say try to stay away from divisional games week 1 into the NFL. All right, so we usually are going to try to end off with some college football. It's preseason-ish. Week 0 happened. No one cares about week 0. Scott Frost is an idiot. Don't kick an onside kick up 11. All right.
With 8 minutes left in the third quarter.
Hawaii is the worst team in the
Yeah.
by far.
Or is Vanderbilt just very good?
Yeah, Vanderbilt's really good.
Vanderbilt. I'm saying it right now. Vanderbilt does win one SEC game this year. Yeah, they're gonna get somebody. They're gonna get somebody.
Is that chick kicking for him this year?
No, I don't think. I think she left. I think she graduated.
Transferred to
She's
North
done.
Texas.
That was a few years ago. Wasn't
She
it?
transferred to North Texas.
She did,
All right.
for real.
Really?
Yeah. Anyways, continue.
Nice. Go Mean Green. Let's talk about the 2 big teams. We're Texas people, plus the 2 biggest brands in college football. Well, one of them is. The other one is just where we all went to school. The University of Texas is where we will start off. The biggest.
Nate and I did not go to college. That's not a thing.
I was just y'all support them, so it's fine. The University of Texas at Austin is the biggest brand in all of college football. That is a fact.
Cool.
I don't care what you say. It is a fact. They are the biggest brand in college football. They make the most money, all those things. That's true.
Doesn't mean they're good, but they are.
Doesn't mean they're good at football.
Forbes would make you think differently, but that's okay. We'll ignore that.
All right, here we go.
I think we have more money. I think we have more money than Texas. I'll take
Forbes would lead you to believe that.
All right, let's go with the questions I have with this. Number 1, is it a big deal that Sark is not the person who announced their starting quarterback?
Yes.
Okay, this is ridiculous. If I was the fan of the school where the head coach was not making football decisions, that I would be so mad. And second of all, my guy won't even release a depth chart.
Yeah,
because he knows the boosters will be pissed as hell when he announces some odd person as a wide receiver, and the booster's like, well, we have this 5-star freshman coming in. Let's announce him.
Yeah, it's
Well,
a
It's
very
bad in
toxic
Austin.
place
I got to
work.
tell
It's
you,
a-
it is
it's a
bad in Austin.
There's a bad culture there because every year they've got a decent recruiting class, and every year they don't finish in the top 25.
And I don't care
Austin,
what
this-
Kirk
Minus
Bowles,
the year they won the Sugar
Bowles and
Bowl.
Anwar Richardson can say whatever they want. Texas is a dumpster fire.
Hey,
That
I
being
was
said,
gonna,
I
just
would
gonna
love to
say
go
that.
there.
I don't care what Austin says. This is where our money can be made, is this conversation right here. And what was it, 4 or 5 years ago, Kirk Herbstreit came on College Game Day and said that Texas was a dumpster fire, and
No,
4 or 5
cesspool.
years,
Cesspool was
yeah,
the
a
word.
cesspool of college football or whatever. And 4 or 5 years later, that comment still rings totally true. They are a
No, I agree.
cesspool.
There's a problem when the students come onto campus. I don't know what goes on at the campus. Are the boosters in their ears treating them like they're superstars? They have had a problem for 3 consecutive seasons now, where they've got these players that are highly recruited and they give 0 effort on the football field, which I don't. And they've changed coaches, so it can't be the coaching staff purely.
Nope.
They've
It's,
There's
got,
two behind
the
them.
culture of the
they've got a
university.
cultural issue.
It's the
It-
boosters.
The
Now-
boosters are trash. It's a culture issue. It's the fact that they're in Austin. Who, like,
They're
in
headed-
all honesty, like, tailgate's great,
No,
fantastic.
their tailgate scene sucks. I've been there,
Yeah.
done that. Their
Yeah.
tailgate scene sucks.
Has it taken a downfall? Because it used to be semi decent.
Hey,
It's
when
awful.
they
It's
started
spread
hand-
out
when
so
they
far.
started when they started handing out dildos to their students, I
Facts,
knew
bro.
it was
Facts, bro.
it was over.
All right. That
It's
has
just
nothing to do
the
with it.
university,
Keep it kinda
like, the
clean.
kids don't care. What was it? Their basketball coach,
Chris
guy that
Beard.
left Tech.
Chris
Uh,
Beard.
So he last year he was seen walking bar to bar asking people to come to their games. The kids don't give a shit. They don't care. They're in Austin. They don't need to come to games, and like they don't need to care about football.
I will say-
A person studying women's degrees isn't giving a shit about college football.
I will say, as someone who lives in the Austin area and is married to a family of University of Texas at Austin graduates, I go to quite a few Texas sporting events, and I will say the big problem that they have compared to other colleges, 100%, when that game kicks off, that stadium will not be full. People do not
Yep.
show up on time. That place is
Don't care.
empty at kickoff. It's crazy to me that the students don't get there on time. Also,
What?
I will not blame them though. I think a lot of it is the university's fault. The student section are the worst seats in the house. Give your students the good seats. Like, make it a place that people want to come to. They put them only in the end zone. They only get the end zone seats on one side. So who wants that? Like, the rowdy side is just one corner of your stadium. That's terrible. I would hate
I
that
will-
as a student. You
I
never
will
get
say
a good
this.
seat as a student.
I will say this. I don't care what any of the Texas media says. They were all the guy that's like most in the know was literally saying that Hudson Card was going to be named the starter. And that same day
Yep.
is when the sports information director of all people
SID.
came
SID.
out and said Quinn Ewers is our starter.
Which,
That is
and-
weird. You can say what you want about Sark may have loved the guy, but you can never recover from Sark not making that announcement.
No,
Yeah.
I went
That's
online
awkward.
I went online to look up because I wasn't totally sure what the SID does. I just had to look it up. The dude is just in charge of media appearances and
Yeah.
who's asking
He's the
questions.
dude. He's the dude in the players' ears, being like, "Don't say this. Don't say this. Don't say
Yeah.
this."
So why is your SID making these announcements? That proves it is a
Because he
terrible
has to be
atmosphere.
he has to be in cahoots with the boosters, or
Yeah,
else they'll just
yeah.
get rid of him. He's a lot easier to get rid of than Sark.
For
And-
sure.
and
That's
we-
not true at all. The boosters pushed out 3 of the damn coaches in the past 10 years.
Yep.
Yeah,
like,
but they gotta
that-
get
like,
they give
they-
them 3 years at least.
But they
You can
gotta
fire
pay 'em to do
SID
it.
after a week.
Yeah, no, for
They-
sure. They pay him, but that's the reason they didn't get Saban when supposedly Saban was coming to Texas. The reason
No.
Urban Meyer's never looked at Texas because Urban Meyer's come to Texas. No one decent wants to come to Texas. It's a
Nope.
shit show of a coaching job. It's
Regardless-
terrible.
Urban
Regardless of
Meyer
what
was
actually
in-
happened, regardless of what
Urban Meyer
actually
still Marvel
happened, it is an awkward thing when your football coach is not making football decisions. That's
Facts.
an
Yeah,
awkward,
100%.
look.
What
Hey,
football guy wants to be told? What football guy wants to go to the podium and say, "Oh, your SID already told us who the starting quarterback is, so who are you going to start?" Like that's awkward as hell.
That's
Like
that's
that-
weird.
That's not
could you even name?
conducive to winning.
Could you even name A&M's SID? I don't
No,
know what it is.
No, no way.
I actually looked
I've
it up.
never
after
heard of our
we had our
SID
group
ever.
chat about that, and I don't even remember what his name is. I have no idea.
I have no clue who he is,
Austin.
and I don't
Who is
want.
it?
I don't
Real-
want to know who
Google.
he is.
Hey, we're
Go
trying,
on
to
Google
Austin.
who it is.
we're trying to get a wide viewership here before all the UT fans get all butthurt on us.
They're
Let's-
going to be butthurt, and I don't care.
Let's
man.
transition to some other things.
I have a
Let's
good
talk
thing
about
to
Mullet
say
Jesus.
about UT.
What?
Bijan Robinson
A dog.
should be a top 3 Heisman contender this year.
Not even close. Not even close.
won't
did
be.
Not make it to
He
New York.
won't be because the offensive
He won't
line's
be.
hurt and they suck. The offensive line's going to be terrible.
But
But
he's a baller.
If he played for another big school,
Should have went pro this year. I don't know why.
he
I'm
would have
saying.
been an animal. He's a dog. Like Shane said, he's a dog. He's
You're-
insane.
If you are a running back,
He will
you
not be a
only have
Heisman
so
finalist.
many. I don't even care. You only have so many carries in your career. Why in the world did you come back? Go
Yeah.
pro.
Yeah, I agree.
Facts.
Go
His-
pro. I don't know. Not,
his
I do not know why
people-
Bijan Robinson
His
is doing it.
people are in the
people
ears of
screwed him.
Steve Sarkisian saying you have 18 carries a game.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't understand if you're Bijan Robinson, even if your draft capital wasn't that good, you were gonna
Doesn't
make
matter.
a squad.
You're
I
going to
guess-
make a team.
I guess it's hard to think about now. There's NIL money, so I don't know what Bijan's making. That is a thing to think about.
Well,
College
he's got the
football landscape's
Bijan
changing,
mustard.
But
Yeah, he's got
I'm just
Bijan
saying,
Mustard.
my
And
man,
isn't he driving a Ferrari?
if I'm here, who cares? I'm going pro.
They've all
I'm
been
taking
driving
cash.
them.
I'll take a cash. over
I'm
Ferrari. All
taking
right,
the NFL money over the NIL money any day of the week.
let's talk about Mullet Jesus, everybody. The man, the myth,
I
the
love-
legend, Mullet Jesus.
Well,
Quinn
Jesus.
freaking
Should have
you.
said Ohio State, sir.
He shouldn't have. He was fourth on the depth chart. So Quinn Ewers hasn't played football in 2 years. He's going to be the starter according to the SID, and then eventually Steve Sarkisian.
Did he ever even say it?
I don't even know. Is
I don't
Never
think
came
he-
out and
Hey,
said it.
first question, just real quick around the horn. We'll go Shane, Jonathan, Blake. Does Quinn Ewers start every single football game for University of Texas this year? Shane, go ahead.
No, I think week 7 he comes out. Looking at their
Jonathan?
schedule.
Jonathan, does Quinn start every game?
He starts every single game.
Okay, Blake.
I don't think they're that good. And I think he's just going to get crushed because that offensive line is going to be atrocious now.
Here's the problem. He's a scapegoat. They play Alabama week 2.
Facts.
My
He
plan,
is a scapegoat.
see, my plan was Hudson Card was the scapegoat. I
thought he was too. I thought he was too.
I thought, which now it actually makes kind of sense. If we thought that Hudson Card was going to be Steve's guy, they're going to start Quinn week 1 and week 2. Best case scenario, he looks great both games. They beat Bama or are close to Bama. You can continue to play Quinn Ewers.
Yep.
If you're
Yeah, but
if you're Sark, your best case scenario actually is Quinn doesn't look great week 1. You still win. You get hammered by Alabama. And
Who
then
do
you
they
get to
play
play
first?
Hudson
Card.
Card. Who do you want?
That's what I kind of think is happening. I think he's an easy scapegoat. I thought whoever was named the starter was going to be the easy scapegoat.
That's
be like,
exactly what I was thinking.
Oh shoot, we got to change it now.
I think
If you lose by 3 possessions to Alabama, it's very easy for the head coach to be like, "Oh, we got to switch to this guy."
I think it's so
I
hard
think-
to lose to Alabama by that much at home if you're Texas. I mean, if you're
I
Texas
think-
and you're saying we're Texas, you cannot get blown out by Bama.
I
at
think
home.
they lose by 3 possessions at least.
I think
I
they do
thi- I-
as well, but it's
I think
rough.
they're
It's
lucky
rough
to put
steady
up
your fans.
they're lucky to put up 14 points.
Oh,
That
they'll
game is
put up-
over at halftime.
They will put up over 14 points. I think the game will still be
I-
over by half.
Yeah, I think it's like a 56 to like 21 game or 28.
I think that Bama wins by 20. I'm going
Okay,
28, my score.
I think it's like a
Here's-
56-20, 24
We'll
game.
see. Well, we'll see. We got.
Probably.
It's like 10 days from now. We will find out. It's gonna be great.
That's gonna be
I'm so
awesome. I
excited.
can't wait for it. That's a
I
fun
Here's my-
television.
I'm actually still looking at buying tickets to that game just to go root on Alabama.
It's gonna be so hot. Don't do it.
Here's my
Kick
thought.
off Austin, Texas. There's no shade in that stadium. Don't do it.
No, yeah.
I
Here's
am
my
ready.
thought. Quentin Ewers starts all the way up until he loses to Iowa State. That's week 7. And then they throw Hudson Card in there against Oklahoma State, Kansas State, TCU, Kansas, and Baylor, and they lose about.
Oh
40.
golly, that's a gauntlet at the end of the season.
Yeah,
If
it
they
is.
lose to Iowa State, Iowa
They lose
State.
to Iowa State.
They've lost to Iowa State, I think, like 4 times in the last 6 years.
I know,
Iowa
but
State's got
Iowa
the number.
State
Matt
has
Campbell's
like
a
no
good
one
coach.
returning.
But Matt Campbell's a
Iowa
good
State's
coach. I
not
like
going to
Matt
be
Campbell.
good.
Kansas State.
You're probably right.
Kansas State might be good.
Kansas State is a sneaky Big 12 school
I
right
mean,
there.
What
They
do you
have
mean
a
by
good
that?
team.
Are they
this
going to
year.
be good in the Big 12, or are they going to be
They
good
might be-
in college
They're-
football?
They'll be like a 9-3 team in the Big 12. I mean,
Yeah,
They-
but
they-
like when they play out of conference, it'll be low.
they'll
But
play
then again-
OU close. They might beat Texas. They might play Baylor close. Who knows?
But then again,
Hey,
when you have a team that literally lost to Kansas last year, it's all up in there.
So, as someone who lives in the Austin area, I listen to a lot of the sports radio here. Some fun facts about the loss to Kansas last year. They played before that. Kansas had not scored 56 points for the entire season combined, and then they scored 56 at Texas. It's brutal. All right, hey,
That's
let's move on.
fantastic.
While we're on that, Texas went 5-7 last year. They declined an invitation to a bowl game, I believe. Somebody this year for the coaches poll gave them a number 1 vote. What
That
coach
was
gave
Nick
them a
Saban.
number 1
That
vote?
was Nick
Nick
Saban.
Saban.
Nick
was Nick
Saban, or
Nick
was it
Saban.
who's the frick? Why can't I think of the Ole Miss coach? Lane Kiffin.
Lane
Was it
Kiffin.
Lane Kiffin just
It was
throwing
either
some,
Lane
like,
Kiffin or Nick Saban.
like, who's just throwing, or like was it Brett Venables at OU just like, hey, I'm the new coach here, I'm just throwing
It
some
was-
crap
yeah.
at you?
It was for
Someone-
sure
someone
somebody that
gave a
plays
number
them.
1 vote to freaking Texas.
Somebody
Okay,
that
but
plays
can-
them.
Can Sark give himself his own number?
Sark
1
was
vote?
not one of the coaches.
No,
that
he
voted.
didn't vote. Sark
Oh,
didn't
okay.
vote.
So we know
Okay.
it was not anyone from the University of Texas. Someone from outside the University of Texas gave UT.
It was
I have a
Jimbo.
theory. I have
Jimbo.
a theory.
What's your theory, Jonathan?
I have a theory that Nick Saban took a quarter and did head tails Texas and Texas A&M because those are the 2 teams he has some issues with. And he flipped it in the air and it landed on tails, and that was just Texas, so he voted Texas.
No,
If it would have landed on
Nick
heads, it
Saban
would have
has
been
like
Texas A&M.
half a
It would have been
problem
a
with
jab
it,
at
with
Jimbo.
Texas.
It would have been a jab at Jimbo, and it would have made that game so much better. He should have gave us the vote. That's what he
My
should.
question is, who is the I don't know at this moment in time who the coach is at the University of Tennessee, but I think it was the University of Tennessee.
It's Josh Heupel.
I
Yeah.
think the University of Tennessee coach got confused because their initials are both UT and
That could be.
accidentally picked the University of Texas that off.
Okay,
All
I mean,
right.
somebody was either
typed in-
confused or trolling.
Have you
All
ever
right.
typed into Google UT? The first thing that pops up is University of Texas or
Yeah, I mean-
University of Tennessee.
The
And
University
then-
of Tennessee was founded first, so it makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. So
Or-
therefore, Shane and I are correct when we're being douchebags and we put TU in our conversations.
No, they're still UT. I mean, they're still the University of Texas. But
Yeah.
I mean, the snobs there will tell you they're the University of Texas. Austin, so it's fine. All right, let's real quick. What is success for the Longhorns this year?
Ash.
Not losing to Kansas.
All right, not losing to Kansas is a low bar. I like it. My bar for them is 9 wins. Less
I was
than
gonna
9.
say
9.
Less than
I was
9
gonna
is
say
good.
8. I was gonna say 8.
The Big 12 is not super strong, so I think the bar is 9.
I think Baylor and Kansas State are going to be a problem. I think they're
Oklahoma
going to
State.
drop a
I
few
think
games
Oklahoma
where they
State
shouldn't.
lost a lot. I think Oklahoma lost a lot and has a
Yeah,
new coach.
Oklahoma State loses talent though, and they end up being good. Mike Gundy is like sneaky good at being a good coach, but not being good enough to win anything.
Which is really crazy because Mike Gundy is like kind of racist, and it's very impressive that he keeps
Yeah.
like the people going for him. So that's,
Dependent. Yeah, I mean,
Well,
depends on
So was the
what
Oklahoma
your views
coaches.
are.
So
yeah, that's true.
We're still
I
in the
mean,
South. And we're
his
still
brother
trying to
got
work
fired from OU for being racist and saying the
Yep.
N-word. So I mean, that's not
Yep.
great. So, all right, hey,
Facts.
let's close off with the wholesome, always perfect fighting Texas Ags from Texas A&M. My first question I wanted to ask: who wins in a fist fight, Jimbo Fisher or Nick Saban?
Jimbo
Jimbo.
Fisher, baby. I don't
Nick's
care.
too old.
Nick Saban
I
has
think
three
Nick
toes
Saban
and
is.
one ass cheek. Jimbo Fisher's kicking that ass.
All right, I'm with y'all on that. That Jimbo was pretty pissed this offseason. I think he would take
Yeah,
it. Nick Saban.
rightfully so.
On the same thing though, I do think that Haynes King as the quarterback worries me. I wrote that down.
I
Haynes
agree
King
with that.
worries me. And
It
no
does-
Spiller worries me way more.
But A-Chain, I
A-Chain,
trust
baby.
A-Chain.
A-Chain.
I will
A-Chain's good for the
say-
big play, but Spiller was so good for the small, like stopped in the backfield, still got 4 yards. Like
We
I
that.
think
gotta-
LJ's going to be a good running back,
Yeah.
too.
Yep. Haynes King worries me, but with Zach Calzada last year, Zach Calzada was bad, legitimately
Yes,
bad.
he was very bad.
And if you have a
Still beat
if we have
Bama.
moderate, still beat Bama. A college player every once in a while can throw out a game, and you're just like, what the hell happened?
Yeah,
Exactly.
That was Zach Calzada last year.
yeah. And then
Both
Mississippi
sides.
State also happened. So it's like,
Exactly.
okay, yeah,
And
yeah.
LSU did too, and Ole Miss did too.
Yeah.
It's like, if we have moderate QB play, we probably win 10 games last year at a floor. If Haynes King is a moderate QB, we probably win 10 games this year.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm also big on the fact that I do believe that if Haynes King comes in and plays bad, we have Max Johnson, who has experience in the SEC. He has won SEC games, and a coaching staff at LSU that was just a dumpster fire. So
I agree with that too. If something happens to Haynes, your drop off from
talent.
Haynes to Max is much less than it was from Haynes to Zach Calzada.
I
Zach
still
Calzada was
don't-
legitimately bad.
I do not want to go to Max Johnson. That scares me.
Agreed. I don't either. But I think
I
that's
would
a
rather go
better
to
situation than Zach Calzada.
The freshman apparently is good.
Yeah, but he's a true freshman. If you're playing a true freshman in the SEC, you're in
If
trouble.
you have a true freshman in the SEC,
no,
you
for
will
sure.
lose games.
You
that
are in
should
For
not
trouble.
sure,
lose.
I understand that, but I'm just saying if Haynes doesn't work out, but you know me, I'm a Haynes King guy, man. I'm buying the shirts, I'm buying the hats, I'm buying the swag. I'm out here rooting on Haynes King. I think Haynes King's gonna be freaking great. The dude won 3 state championships in Texas for Longview. The dude's a stud. He's a stud. He can throw, he can run. It's gonna be great. For them to be
How-
great.
Hope he can throw.
How is Miami ranked number 16?
Miami's
Just
gonna be
because-
good, dude.
They have a
Preseason
new
means
coach.
nothing.
Everyone gets hype. Everyone gets hype over a new coach. That's all it is.
They got
We-
they got the new quarterback making like 9.5 million in freaking
Yeah.
NIL deals. Like
We-
Nah, he
we've all-
was already there. Their quarterback was already there.
We've all talked about this. Preseason rankings suck, but 'cause
Yeah,
that's
facts.
like the Ags. I hate that we're ranked number 6, but
I mean, that's
I
about where we
don't-
finished last year. So I mean,
Now, last year we finished 26th.
oh sorry,
yeah,
when-
it was 2 years
the year
ago.
before
2
that.
years
2
ago.
years
But-
ago, we were.
Yeah, it's
But
only
here's
because
the
we
thing,
lost.
it-
We were playing with a backup quarterback. I mean,
Yeah.
we lost to Ole Miss and LSU to finish the season.
We've got a
man.
beefy.
Blake and I
O-line
were
and a
at that Ole
beefy
Miss
D-line.
game. Oh,
Oh,
that was
it-
so
it-
brutal.
Last year was rough. Okay.
Well,
so
if I'm any indication of history, we'll get blown out by Miami.
the question is,
Mm.
can the Aggies make the jump and qualify for the playoffs? Our best chance was 2 years ago when Notre Dame somehow freaking kept us out.
We got
It's
screwed.
We didn't get. We
We
got
got
screwed. Yes and no. We got screwed. Yes and no. I see why they made their case. It was stupid.
Nah, we got screwed.
But whatever.
We got
They
beat.
won-
Alabama beat us by the same amount that Notre Dame beat Clemson, but we lost in week 2. They lost in week 12, week
Yeah.
10, whatever it was.
And whatever. We all know they're
Whatever.
putting-
It was baloney.
they're thinking of also, well, we don't want to see a repeat game. We want to see the teams that have the biggest fan bases. Everyone knows that those are things that the committee takes into account, even though they say that they don't. Like, we all know it. if they didn't, we wouldn't have the same teams in the playoff every year. Sometimes when they
Agreed.
don't deserve it.
And my
Agreed.
boy Dez doesn't have the same 4 teams in the playoffs
Okay,
this year.
that was outlandish. That was completely outlandish.
Desmond Howard is on the ayahuasca. He's on the Aaron
That
Rodgers
honestly embarrassed me that we were a part of that. That was like,
He
okay,
should
we
be
have no
he
shot.
should be fired for that.
We
He should
weren't
be
a
Alright.
part of
fired.
it. We were the head of it. Like
Oh, we were number
literally,
one.
he picked us to win the whole damn thing.
All right, y'all accuse
Pittsburgh
me.
and
Y'all accuse me of being the negative person in the group when it comes to my sports team.
You are
Are the-
absolutely a negative Nancy.
Are the
Yeah.
Aggies in the playoffs? Blake, yes or no?
I'm saying we win 10 games and make a New Year's Six bowl. Next year is the year that we make the jump.
All right, no playoffs for Blake. Jonathan?
Yeah, he's gonna say yeah.
I'm gonna have to agree with Blake. I don't think we make the jump to the playoffs this year. I think next year we are number 2 in the playoffs.
Oh,
I think we are the second ranked team going into playoffs. I think Evan
if you're
Stewart is going to be a
if A&M
stud.
is the second ranked team in the playoffs, they are either undefeated or they have one loss.
I'm
For sure
telling you right
undefeated.
now, we're
And if they have one loss, it has to be early and they have to win the SEC championship game.
I'm telling you right now, we're winning the SEC championship next year.
Well, here's
We're
what I'll
beating
also
Alabama.
say.
The time has come.
This year, what I will say is our hope. I don't think Georgia is going to be near as good as they were last year, and
I mean, they
everyone's
lost
hanging
a
their
lot
hat
of
on
talent.
Georgia. If Alabama boat races Georgia, I mean Georgia is going to make the SEC championship because they don't play anyone. They will get destroyed by Alabama, and if that's our only loss, that's our one hope to make the playoff.
That is the one hope. But
I still
mean,
think it's a slim chance.
knowing
But
since we have been in the A&M community, it's just guaranteed we are either going to lose to one of the teams that we shouldn't lose to, Mississippi State,
some stupid Mississippi
Miss.
school.
one of those two teams that we should crush, we are going to lose to. So I actually have us with 3 losses. I have us losing to somebody else that we also should lose to. I got us with Bama. I have us losing to Mississippi State because those are the ones that's the team we usually lose to, and pick another team on the schedule.
Probably LSU.
We're not in the
who should-
playoffs for sure. We're not in the playoffs for sure.
Austin just verified the negative Nancy of the group is Austin Williamson. Everybody, thank you.
No, these are facts. These are facts. Look at how many years have we lost to Mississippi State when we shouldn't have,
My dude.
or Ole Miss, one of the two. The Mississippi schools. I know that LSU is the school with the voodoo, but the Mississippi schools have voodoo on Texas A&M.
2020, we didn't lose to the Mississippi schools. We lost to Alabama.
That was the only year we didn't lose to one of them.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I also have a
We've been
new
in the
proposal,
SEC since 2012, Jonathan. That's 10 years. Only one time.
I
have we
understand
not
that,
lost to one of them.
but I understand that. But this is a whole new team, man. It's a whole new program.
Well, 2012 we
No,
didn't either.
2012, we
though.
lost to LSU and Florida, both at home, both on Jonathan Menzel. Very terrible mistakes.
2013
was a
we lost to
freshman.
Mississippi State or
Right.
Ole
I
Miss, one of
understand.
them.
But I have a new proposal that I
Ole
think
Miss.
that we should all consider. I think I should propose that Blake Stachkowski does not go to any games in person because every time he does, we lose.
Well,
then
I will
we're
be
lo-
sitting.
we're losing-
I will
we're
be
losing
sitting
to
in the Miami game, boys.
We're losing to Miami.
I really
All right.
hope
Catch me
that
with a
we
couple
break that
beers in my
streak,
hand.
Blake.
Hey,
I think we
I'm going to Columbia, South Carolina too, and
I
Auburn,
agree
so-
with Blake and
Wanna
Johnny. We're going to go to a New Year's Six bowl. I think in the next 2 years, if Jimbo does not take us to the promised land, and to me, a promised land is an SEC championship game, our boosters buy him out, and we hire some buffoon, probably like Kevin Sumlin, to try and lead us to the promised land.
well, it's probably
I
not
hope
Kevin
not.
Sumlin, but I see what you're doing there.
I don't think we're
Um,
giving someone.
Hey, while we're here,
Anyways,
let's wrap it up real quick. Just go ahead. While we're in the college football realm, who is your champion for the season? National champion of the 2022-2023 season. This will be what we'll wrap up on. And then we will see all of our amazing listeners after week number 1 of college football. and we'll talk more. We'll talk a little bit more about preseason, or not preseason, about week 1 of the football games. Talk about some gambling for the NFL. But let's talk real quick But we'll talk real quick about national championship of college football this year.
So I think it's an easy pick. We're going to go with Alabama. They have a Heisman winner coming back. They're going to have
also have the
unbelievable
best
receivers.
I think they have the best defensive player coming back too. And
They do. And Will Anderson.
Oh yeah.
Will Anderson,
Will
is a
Anderson.
monster.
Probably should win the Heisman. I mean, I don't know how you pick against that. I obviously hope that A&M is up there and competes with them. But let's be real. They have a Heisman contender and probably a guy that should have won the Heisman of Will Anderson.
Yeah.
I'm taking Ohio State.
Ohio State's
Ohio-
defense, though. Their defense, though, is
Defense,
not good.
baby.
I think that Ohio State is going to get to sleepwalk through the regular season this year. I think Harbaugh at Michigan finally gets fired because he should, because he's been awful since he's been
That'd be
there.
awesome. That'd be hilarious.
But well, actually, coming out, didn't they sign him to some like ridiculous extension last year?
Yeah.
But
He's not getting fired.
Right after they beat
literally
Ohio State.
they beat Ohio State for the first time, like in like.
He
10
flirted
years,
with
and they-
the Vikings, then they've signed him to some extension.
Whatever.
Yeah, he's
sorry.
not
I still
getting
think
fired.
Ohio State just cakewalks through the Big Ten because it's a joke. And their offense just has so many weapons. And then I think that they will beat Alabama in the national championship because I think Nick Saban has still really struggled to adjust to teams that can just spread the ball out really well, just like he did with LSU and Clemson. So I'm taking Ohio State over Bama in the national championship this year in a very, very, very high scoring affair.
My fandom tells me to say Giga Mags, let's ride. We're gonna win the national championship. Reality tells me to say Ohio State's gonna win the national championship.
Oh,
They have no defense.
well, we're going to be split down the middle 2-2 because Will Anderson is going to win the Heisman this year. The last time the Heisman was won by a defense player was 25 years ago. It's a perfect storyline. The dude is winning the Heisman. Alabama is winning the national title. As badly as I want A&M just to beat
Get
the
off Paul
yeah.
Feinbaum's nuts, John.
I
Okay,
know,
wait,
I'm
hold
right
on.
now. It's the storyline. I don't listen to Feinbaum, man. I'm more of a barstool kind of guy. Like I like the cursing and the yelling and screaming and talking about high noon and all that crazy shit. Will Anderson Heisman, not Paul Feinbaum. Alabama wins the national title. Paul Feinbaum, go find yourself a retirement home, bro. Hang it up. You're 98 years old. Last time you played football, it was the Civil War. Like,
Hey,
just
I
get
know
over.
we said
He never played football.
I know we said we would end on that, but Jonathan brought up a good point of last time a defensive player has won the Heisman. Have y'all watched the Manti Te'o freaking documentary?
Oh, that
Oh
was
my
awesome.
God,
Dude,
dude.
I kind of felt bad for him by the
Yeah,
end.
I
Of
He-
it.
did too.
He
I
didn't
mean-
deserve to be a Heisman finalist, though.
I wish I didn't watch it.
I remember
wish I would've just
specifically
kept
that
my
season.
Pre-assumed.
It was brutal. I do remember that season. Just every quarterback in the NCAA was like, "I'm going to throw it directly at Manti's chest."
Yeah, he shouldn't have been a Heisman
Like,
finalist.
whatever. I mean, I'm glad.
I do feel bad for him
He
for the whole
didn't win,
situation.
but-
He definitely got demonized by the media.
Yeah,
He got
demonized
catfish
There was some-
before catfish was a thing, bro.
There
Like,
was some serious red flags. Serious
Yeah.
red flags.
Agreed,
was.
but catfishing was not a thing back then.
but
Yeah,
What,
but
you-
once your
you've
girlfriend
never
was
seen
dead
this
and
girl?
then comes back from the dead, like that's when he lost me. Then I felt a
Three-
little bit less bad.
3 years. 3 years. You've been talking to this girl. You've never seen her once. You've never like been with
Oh,
her
it's
once.
It's
Like,
definitely
bro,
weird.
That's weird. That's weird.
Look,
It's weird.
Look,
The voice
I was-
recording was the most impressive part.
No, that was
like-
impressive.
It was impressive.
Yeah, that was impressive. I was never going to be a professional athlete, and I had a girlfriend I only saw about 3 times a year, and I should have known better than that. So, like, I can't throw
And
shade
Shane was
at
sending
anybody.
and Shane was sending her money.
Yeah, so I can't throw shade.
No. But you knew what she like. You knew she was a she. There's a difference.
Yeah, there is, you know, I mean, I will say that. But once again, you know, I shouldn't throw shade, but he is
I'm
kind
just saying, my dude was gonna be a professional athlete and was dating a girl he had never seen when he had all the pickings in the world. Like, come on, man. Like, you're messing up.
All
It was a
right, well,
bizarre story though.
I think that's a great place
I,
for
I
us to
really
leave
hope
off.
it happens to another guy at some point in college football history
That
because
will
I
never
don't-
happen again.
Yeah, it's too
That
popular
will
now.
never happen again.
what a
All right, I
story.
think it's late. It's a good time for us to leave off here.
It's only midnight, boys.
Yeah, it was the first episode of the Football is King podcast. I don't know if we'll get demonetized for this, but in Texas here, where football
Horns
is
down,
king,
bitch.
there's one thing that we say here, and that is that clear eyes and full heart.
Full
Full
heart.
heart.
We can't lose.
Can't
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 lose.
lose.
Yeah,
and
we
we'll
just
see y'all
got
next
kicked
week.
off of YouTube, so that's great.